وحق من حقوق الزوج على زوجته تمكين الزوج من الاستمتاع.
And the first of these rights that the husband has upon the wife is the right to have marital relations with her.
فإذا دعا الرجل زوجته إلى الفراش وامتنعت من غير عذر شرعي كأن تكون مريضة أو حائض أو نفساء فقد ارتكبت كبيرة من الكبائر.
So if the husband calls his wife for marital relations to the bed and she refuses without a legitimate excuse in the Islamic legislation, like she is on her menses or she is ill, so she doesn't have an excuse and she refuses, then she has committed a major sin.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا دعا الرجل امرأته إلى فراشه فأبت فبات غضبان عليها لعنتها الملائكة حتى تصبح. البخاري ومسلم.
The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if a man calls his wife to bed and she refuses, and then the man goes to bed, the husband goes to bed in a state of being displeased or angry with her, then she doesn't reach the morning except that the angels continue to curse her over the period of the night. It was reported by the two Imams, Imam Bukhari, Bukhari, and Imam Muslim, Muslim.
وفي رواية حتى ترجع وفي رواية حتى يرضى عنها.
And in another narration, the angels continue to curse her until she returns to him, or in another narration, until he is pleased with her.
ولا يجوز لها أن تصوم صيام التطوع وهو حاضر غير مسافر إلا بإذنه.
And it's not permitted for her to fast an optional fast if she's able to, when he's present, except with his permission.
الأمر الثاني الطاعة بالمعروف. تطيع زوجها بالمعروف ما لم يأمرها بمعصية.
The second is that she obeys him in that which is good that he orders, not necessarily in the things that he orders that are not good. So she obeys him in the good things that he wants her to do.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا صلت المرأة خمسها يعني 5 صلوات في اليوم والليلة.
The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if the woman or the wife prays her 5
وحصنت فرجها
and she keeps her private part chaste
وأطاعت بعلها يعني زوجها
and she's obedient to her husband,
دخلت الجنة من أي أبوابها شاءت والجنة لها 8 أبواب.
She will enter the Jannah, she will enter the paradise from any of its 8 gates.
سأل النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام مرة امرأة قال لها ألك زوج؟ قالت نعم.
A woman asked the Prophet,
سأل النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام امرأة قال لها هل أنت ذات الزوج؟ قالت نعم.
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, asked the woman, do you have a husband? And she said yes.
قال لها كيف أنت معه؟
So he asked her, how are you with him?
قالت لا أقصر في طاعته وخدمته.
She said, I'm not deficient or negligent in obeying him or serving him.
قال فانظري أين أنت منه فإنه جنتك ونارك يعني إن رضي عنك زوجك دخلت الجنة وإن غضب عليك دخلت النار. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم فانظري أين أنت منه فإنه جنتك ونارك.
So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, so look to your station in relates to your relationship with him. For indeed, he is your paradise and he is your fire. Meaning, if you obey him and you serve him well, then paradise is for you. But if you do the opposite and you displease him and you do not, then the fire is for you.
الأمر الثالث عدم الإذن في بيته لمن يكره الزوج دخوله لا تدخلوا بيته أحدا يكرهه.
The third of his rights is that she does not permit anyone that he is not pleased with to enter the family home.
الأمر الرابع خدمة المرأة زوجها بالمعروف.
The fourth is that the wife serves the husband in a way and in all those things that are good.
وكانت فاطمة بنت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وهي أشرف نساء العالمين كانت تخدم زوجها علي رضي الله تعالى عنه وأرضاه.
And Fatima, Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and she was from the best of the women. She used to serve her husband, Ali, Ali, may Allah be pleased with him.
عن أبي هريرة أن فاطمة أتت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم تسأله خادما وشكت العمل يعني كثرة العمل في البيت.
And on the authority of Abu Hurairah, who said that Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her, came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and asked for a servant because she was complaining that she had too much work to do.
فقال لها عليه الصلاة والسلام ألا أدلك على خير من ذلك يعني من الخادم الذي يخدمك في البيت.
So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to her, shall I not tell you something that is better for you than for you to have a servant in the house?
قال لها تسبحين 33 وتحمدين 33 وتكبرين 34 حين تأخذين مضجعك عند النوم يعني رواه مسلم.
So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, when you go to bed, before you sleep in bed, you should say, Subhanallah, Subhanallah, 33 times. You should say, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, 33 times. And you should say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu 34 times. Do this before you sleep, and it will be better for you than were you to have a servant in your home.
لذلك أخذ العلماء قالوا إن ذكر الله يساعد المرأة على عمل البيت والنشاط والقوة. كلما كانت المرأة أكثر ذكر لله في بيتها تسبح وتهلل وتكبر وتصلي على النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام وتذكر الله أعانها الله على عمل بيتها وأولادها وزوجها خير إعانة بإذن الله.
For this reason, the people of knowledge, they take a point of benefit and they say that a woman having remembrance of Allah the Most High, it will help her have strength in her house. It will help her do the upkeep of the house and she will not become tired doing it. So the more she makes these acts of remembrance, like saying Allahu Akbar, as we have said, Allah is the greatest, like saying Subhanallah, glory be unto Allah, like sending salutations upon the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. All of these types of acts of remembrance, the more she does, the more help she will get from Allah the Most High in terms of her husband, in terms of her children, in terms of the family chores, in terms of maintaining the family home.
كذلك نختم بالحق الأخير من حق الزوج على زوجته عدم الخروج من بيته إلا بإذنه. عدم الخروج إلا بإذنه.
And the last of the rights that the husband has over the wife is the right that she does not leave the house except with his permission.
طيب الآن سنأتي للأمر الثالث وهو حقوق الزوجة على زوجها.
So now we go to the third category of rights, of marital rights, and it's the category of the rights of the wife upon the husband.
أولا أوصى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الرجال عموما بالنساء فقال عليه الصلاة والسلام استوصوا بالنساء خيرا في حجة الوداع، وقد حج معه في حجة الوداع أكثر من 24,000 صحابي رضي الله تعالى عنهم. أوصى الجميع قال: ألا فاستوصوا بالنساء خيرا. يعني وصية أوصيكم بالنساء خيرا.
أثابكم الله. أثابكم الله. So the first indicator, or the first thing that we should note is that the Prophet's peace and blessings be upon him, he gave men, in a general sense, he gave them the advice and the counsel to preserve the rights of their wives. And he said this, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace and blessings be upon him, in the farewell Hajj. And this was a gathering where there were many, many Muslims. So he said to the Muslims, and particularly to the men, addressing the men, "O men, I give you counsel, I give you advice to beware to preserve the rights of your wives and to preserve those rights in goodness."
وقال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام: خيركم خيركم لأهله وأنا خيركم لأهلي.
And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the best of you are the best of you to their families, and it can mean to their wives, and I'm the best of you to my family or my wife.
وتنقسم حقوق الزوجة على زوجها إلى قسمين.
And the rights that the wife has over the husband can be subdivided and categorized into two categories.
الأول الحقوق المالية.
The first are financial rights.
والثاني حقوق غير مالية.
The second are non-financial rights.
الحقوق المالية أول شيء المهر. إذا أراد أن يتزوجها يجب أن يقدم لها مهرا مناسبا لمثلها.
So the first of these financial rights is that the husband gives her the dowry, and it's a dowry that is suitable to the wife.
قال تعالى: وآتوا النساء صدقاتهن نحلة، يعني هبة وعطية. يستحب للرجل أن يعطي المرأة المهر بطيب نفس، ولا يحل لوليها لأبيها أن يأخذ من مهرها شيئا بغير إذنها، لأن الله سبحانه وتعالى قال: فإن طبن لكم عن شيء منه نفسا فكلوه هنيئا مريئا. أما إذا أعطاها الرجل المهر فلا يجوز لأبيها أن يأخذ منها ذلك المهر إلا بطيب نفسها.
And يسأل عن المهر. ترجمتها لغة بالإنجليزية، لكن يسأل عن تفاصيل المهر.
المهر إذا أراد الزوج أن يتزوج المرأة يقدم لها مالا. مثلا إيش العملة عندكم؟ اليورو؟ يقدم لها مثلا 1000 باوند، 500 باوند، 200 باوند. هذا هو المهر، المبلغ المالي الذي يبرهن للمرأة أن هذا الرجل يريد أن يتزوجها، فيقدم لها مالا. تأخذ هذا المال وتجهز به نفسها وتشتري ملابس وأطياب وعطور ونحو ذلك.
So there was a question about what the dowry was. And the thing is, it's something that can be translated into English as a dowry, but it's an Islamic concept that has principles and ideas behind it. So I asked the Sheikh to explain what it was, and he said, may Allah preserve him, that if a man wants to marry a woman, then he should give to her some sort of wealth, some money. So for example, it might be something like £500. So this is money that shows that he is serious, that he wants to marry her, and he wants to live a marital life with her. And this is money that she can use then to buy clothes or to buy perfume, to buy things that she wants to buy. So it's a sum of money that's given from the husband to the wife at the time of the marriage contract.
ويستحب تخفيف هذا المهر، يعني عدم المغالاة في المهور. قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام: أعظم النساء بركة أقلهن مؤونة، يعني أو أقلهن مهورا أو أيسرهن مؤونة ومهرا.
And it's from the sunnah, or it's recommended to have this price or have this amount of the dowry. It's recommended for it to be low. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that the greatest of the women in their barakah, in their blessings, in their goodness, the greatest of them are those who are the lowest in terms of the dowry that they ask for.
الأمر الثاني من حقوق المرأة على زوجها النفقة، أن ينفق عليها، وتشمل النفقة الطعام والشراب والكسوة والسكن.
The second of the rights that the wife has upon the husband is the rights to be financially maintained. And this is the second category. This financial maintenance, what does it mean? It returns to a number of things. First, the right to be fed and watered, to have food and drink. The second is the right to have clothes and to be clothed. And the third is the right to be housed and kept in a family house.
حتى لو كانت المرأة غنية فإن الإسلام يوجب على الرجل هو الذي ينفق عليها، إلا إذا أنفقت في بيتها بطيب نفسها دون إجبار فلا بأس، وجزاها الله خيرا، وهذا من العشرة بالمعروف.
Even if prior to the marriage the woman is rich and she has lots of wealth, it's still obligatory upon the husband to provide these things that we have outlined, except it is permissible for her if she wants to and she wishes to spend her wealth on the house, for example, or on any of these things, then it is permitted for her to do so. And may Allah the Most High reward her in goodness. And this is an example of what we said before, of living with one another in goodness.
قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: لينفق ذو سعة من سعته. معنى هذا أن الرجل ينفق على قدر استطاعته، ولا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها، فلا تنظر إلى زوج أختها إذا كان غنيا وأنه ينفق عليها بكثرة وزوجها فقير فتريد أن يساويها بأختها. لا، الغني ينفق على قدر استطاعته والفقير ينفق على قدر استطاعته.
And this payment that he must give, it's a payment that he is able to do so. And it's a payment that's within his means to pay. And Allah the Most High says in the Quran that which means, so let the man pay what he is able to. So this, and also Allah the Most High says in another verse in the Quran, indeed Allah does not burden a soul more than it can bear. So it shouldn't be an overbearing financial burden upon him. And it shouldn't be looked at and seen that because she is rich, then I must pay a certain amount to maintain a lavish lifestyle. Rather, he should pay as much as he is able to, as much as is comfortable for him, irrespective of her level of wealth, whether she is rich or poor.
والرجل عليه أن يحتسب الأجر إذا أنفق على أهله. قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام: إذا أنفق الرجل على أهله يحتسبها، يعني لوجه الله، فهي صدقة.
And it's important to note that the husband, when they spend upon their wives, when they spend this money financially maintaining them, etc., they should do so seeking Allah's reward and conscious of the reward that they may reap through this payment. Because the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he said, indeed, when the husband pays for the upkeep of and maintenance of his wife, then indeed it is considered as sadaqah. It is considered as charity.
طيب نكمل بعد الصلاة ولا نختم؟ على خلاص إذا نختم عشان بعد المغرب الشيخ حسن في الأربع دقائق هذه نختم إن شاء الله.
So the Maghrib Salah is in a few minutes, so we'll try and summarize a finish because there is another lecture after the Maghrib Salah.
طيب بسرعة quickly. قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام دينار أنفقته في سبيل الله.
The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, a dinar, D-E-E-N-A-R, a unit of monetary wealth with the Arabs, that is spent in the way of Allah.
ودينار تصدقت به على مسكين.
And the same amount of wealth that is paid for a poor person.
ودينار أنفقته على أهلك أهل بيتك.
And the same amount that is spent upon the people of your household.
أعظمها أجرا الدينار الذي أنفقته على أهلك.
The greatest and best of them is that wealth that you've spent upon your home and your household.
طيب الحقوق غير المالية هو العدل بين الزوجات إذا كان الرجل متزوج أكثر من زوجة. الحقوق غير المالية، هنا قلنا حقوق مالية للمرأة وحقوق غير مالية.
So now we're looking at other than the financial rights, marital rights.
فأول حق من الحقوق غير المالية إذا كان الرجل متزوج أكثر من زوجة.
So if the man has more than one wife,
يجب عليه أن يعدل بين الجميع في النفقة والكسوة والمبيت والسكنة نفقة.
So it's obligatory upon him to treat them equally in terms of how he spends upon them, in terms of their upkeep, their food, their drink, their clothing, their housing, and what he spends on them.
قال الله سبحانه وتعالى فانكحوا ما طاب لكم من النساء مثنى وثلاث ورباع فإن خفتم ألا تعدلوا فواحدة.
And Allah the Most High says that which means, and marry that which you wish of the women, 2, 3, or 4. But if you fear that you cannot be equal and have justness between them, then marry one.
الحق الثاني كذلك لا يجوز وطئها في الحيض ولا في الدبر.
The 8th is that it's not permissible to have marital relations with her when she is on her menses or her time of the month, nor from the rear.
ثم نختم بوصايا عامة وهي قول النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام الدنيا متاع وخير متاعها المرأة الصالحة.
And now I end with just some general advice. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that the life of this world is a thing of enjoyment. And the best thing of enjoyment is a righteous woman.
الرفق في معاملتها.
So have gentleness when you deal with her.
والعفو والصفح عنها وعن أخطائها.
And pardon her and overlook any mistakes or errors that she may make.
آخر حديث قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها آخر. طيب ولا يأذن أول. لا يفرق يعني لا يبغض مؤمن مؤمنة.
So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that a believing man should not hate a believing woman.
إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها خلقا آخر.
If there is something about her character that he finds displeasing, he should look to another character or characteristic that he finds pleasing.
الحياة بين الزوجين لا تكون إلا بالصبر وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم.
So in this way, they should have patience upon them. And this is what we've presented. And may Allah send and shower peace and salutations upon the Prophet Muhammad and upon his family and companions and those who follow them.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
We're going to continue now with the conference, inshallah. So please take a seat at the front. And the Sheikh Hassan Haddadi, inshallah, is going to continue with the conference. Jazakallah khairan.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا مزيدا إلى يوم الدين. نعم.
Indeed, all praises are due to Allah, and may the most excellent and complete virtuous prayers be and salutations be showered upon the Prophet Muhammad and upon his family and companions. To proceed.
الزواج آية من آيات الله سبحانه وتعالى وسنة سنها الله سبحانه وتعالى، وهذه الآية كما قال تعالى: ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون، كما في سورة الروم الآية 21.
To proceed, indeed, marriage is a sign from the signs of Allah the Most High, and also a sunnah or an example that has preceded, that Allah the Most High has made an example and a recurrent example within his creation. And this is as Allah the Most High says in the chapter of the Romans, verse number 21, where he says that which means, and one of his signs is that he created for you spouses from among yourselves so that you may find comfort in them. And he has placed between you compassion and mercy. Surely in this are signs for people who reflect.
فالحياة الزوجية قائمة على المودة والمحبة والرحمة والعطف والحنان، فإذا ما تعكرت صفو هذه الحياة الزوجية بين الزوجين ولم توجد بينهم المودة ولا الرحمة، فقد جعل الله جل وعلا للمتضرر منهما مخرجا من هذا الزواج، وهو بحل عقدة النكاح التي هي أصلا بيد الزوج.
And the marital life, it's a marital life that should be based upon love, mutual compassion, mutual respect, mutual working together and collaboration. But if this marital life does not have these aspects, where there is not mutual love, where there is no respect, where there is no mercy, then Allah the Most High has made a way out of such a marriage, and he has put the way out within the hand of the husband.
وفي مقابل ذلك جعل الله سبحانه وتعالى أيضا للمرأة مخرجا في حال إذا ما كرهت البقاء مع الزوج، وذلك بأن تخالعه، وهو حكم شرعي، فتطلب فسخ تلك العقدة التي بيد الزوج. يقول الله تبارك وتعالى كما في سورة البقرة الآية 229: الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله، فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به، تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون.
And Allah the Most High, he has also made a way out for that is in the hand of the wife, and that is by another process that is called the khul, and you could spell that Khul. And this process, this procedure is referred to in the Quran, where Allah the Most High says that which means, and it's in the chapter of the cow, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 229, where Allah the Most High says, that which means divorce may be retracted twice. Then the husband must retain his wife with honor or separate her from her with grace. It is not lawful for husbands to take back anything of the dowry given to their wives unless the couple fears not being able to keep within the limits of Allah. So if you fear they will not be able to keep within the limits of Allah, there is no blame if the wife compensates the husband to obtain divorce. These are the limits set by Allah, so do not transgress them. And whosoever transgresses the limits of Allah, they are the true wrongdoers.
لقد كان الطلاق في الجاهلية قبل الإسلام واستمر يعني في أول الإسلام على نفس هذا الأمر، وهو أن الرجل كان يطلق زوجته بلا نهاية، يعني ليس هنالك عدد محدد للطلاق، طلقتين 3 4 لا، بل ما لا نهاية، فيطلق المرأة ما لا نهاية. فإذا شارفت المرأة أو اقتربت من انقضاء عدتها قام وراجعها، ثم بعد ذلك طلقها، ويصنع بها مثل ذلك أبدا، يريد أن يضرها، فلا هي التي طلقت وذهبت وتزوجت رجلا آخر، ولا هي التي بقيت في عصمته ويتمتع بها ويعطيها حقوقها، فيضرها بذلك، فيطلق، فإذا انتهت العدة قبل أن تنتهي يرجعها بلا نهاية. فأنزل الله سبحانه وتعالى هذه الآية وحدد الطلاق، قال الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان.
The act of divorcing was something that was prevalent, or it was there before the advent of Islam. And then when Islam came, it continued this act as was before Islam. So the way that the Arabs would carry out the divorce, it was continued. And the way that they would do it was that there was no upper limit to the number of times the divorce could take place. So a man could divorce his wife an infinite number of times. How is that? It would be that he would grant her a divorce, and then she would enter the waiting period for a fixed term. Then when the waiting period was about to end, he would then take her back, and then she would then be his legitimate wife once again. And then again, he would divorce her, and then when she was going through the waiting period again, until she was right at the end, he would then take her back, and he would continue to do this. And this was something that was done to damage the woman and to put her at a disadvantage, because she was neither here nor there. She was neither his legitimate wife, nor was she left to remarry and carry on with her life. So it was something that Allah the Most High addressed. And for this reason, he revealed the verse in the Quran, as we have said, that which means divorce may be retracted twice. Then the husband must retain his wife with honor or separate her with grace.
فأخبر الله سبحانه وتعالى أن الطلاق الذي تحصل به الرجعة مرتان، بأن يطلق مرة ثم يراجع، ثم يطلق مرة ثانية ثم يراجع. وعدة المطلقة خلال هذه المرة التي يطلق ثم يريد أن يراجعها 3 قروء، أي 3 حيضات على القول الراجح، تحيض ثم تطهر ثم تحيض ثم تطهر ثم تحيض ثم تطهر، فعند ذلك تنتهي العدة إذا لم يراجعها قبل الطهر الثالث، وإذا راجعها قبل ذلك فهي في العدة، فهي تكون زوجة له. وهذا في الطلقتين التي تسمى الطلاق الرجعي، في الطلقتين التي تسمى الطلاق الرجعي، لأنه يحق له أي الزوج أن يراجعها في هذا الطلاق الرجعي في خلال الطلقتين الأولى والثانية وقبل انقضاء العدة.
So Allah the Most High, in this verse that we've recited to you, he mentions that the type of divorce whereby the man can then take his wife back, or he can take the divorcee back, this type of divorce, it happens twice. So he is allowed to take her back twice. And this is by virtue of him divorcing her, and then he takes her back, then he divorces her and he takes her back. So he's allowed to do this twice. And then when he divorces her, she goes through a period called the waiting period, al-iddah. In some communities, they call it the iddat. And the period of this iddah, of this waiting period, is I-double-D-A-H. So it's a waiting period, you translate it as in English. And this is a period that is determined by the Islamic legislation. And this period is 3 of her menstrual cycles, upon the most correct statement and the most correct stance of the people of knowledge. So for example, she would have her monthly period, then she would be pure. That's 1. She would have her monthly period, then be pure. That's 2. She would have her monthly period, then be pure. That's 3. That's her waiting period. So if within this waiting period, he wants to take her back within these 2 times of divorces, he can take her back legitimately, and then she becomes his wife once again. And this is the type of divorce that is done twice, and it's what the scholars call at-talaq al-raj'i. So talaq, T-A-L-A-Q, which means divorce. Al-raj'i, A-R-R-A-J-I. And the raj'i is the thing that you can take back. So it's the divorce that's done twice, and then it's legitimate for the husband to straight away take her back.
فإن راجعها الزوج خلال العدة فإنه يتقي الله سبحانه وتعالى ويحسن عشرتها ويعاملها بالمعروف والطيبة ويكون حسن المعشر كما قال سبحانه وتعالى فإمساك بمعروف، أي بما يتعارف الناس عليه من العشرة الطيبة والمعاملة الحسنة. ونظير هذه الآية ما جاء في قوله تعالى أيضا كما في سورة الطلاق الآية الثانية فأمسكوهن بمعروف أو فارقوهن بمعروف. والمراد أي بالإحسان، أي أنه يحسن إليها ويكون صاحب معروف. وفي قوله تعالى أو تسريح بإحسان، إمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. الإحسان هنا إذا طلقها ولا يريد إرجاعها إلى عصمته يمتعها بشيء يجبر كسر قلبها ويطيب خاطرها، لأن المرأة إذا طلقت يعتبر هذا الطلاق كسر لها وألم لقلبها وحزن يعني يكون في نفسها، فيطيبها بأن يعطيها المال، يعطيها هدية، يعطيها شيء يحسن إليها يعني من الأشياء الطيبة، يعني هدية أو مال أو نفقة أو شيء يجبر بها خاطر هذه المرأة المسكينة التي طلقها وفارقها بعد انتهاء العدة لعدم رغبته فيها.
So when the husband takes her back within this period, he takes her back as his wife, he should then treat her in a good way. He should fear Allah the Most High as relates to her, and he should enact with her with good manners. And Allah the Most High says, and then they should take them and keep them with that which is good. And when Allah the Most High says in a good way or in that which is good, it means in reflection to the customs of the people. So what the people consider to be good manners within the marriage, he should stand up with all of those good manners that they deem. And Allah the Most High says, so he should take that which, oh no, Allah the Most High then says in Surah, the chapter of divorce, the second verse, he says that which means, and when they have almost reached the end of their waiting period, either retain them honorably or separate from them honorably. So this honor is key in this interaction with her. So to deal with her honorably is to deal with her in a good way. And Allah the Most High, he says, to take them or keep them in goodness, or to give them that which is good. So when you take them in goodness and you keep them after having divorced them, it's only befitting that the individual gives her something to make her feel better, because there are bound to be hard feelings and hurt feelings to her emotionally following the divorce. So the man should give her something to make up for this divorce and to make her feel better.
وبخصوص الرجعة، إذا أراد الزوج أن يرجع زوجته في أثناء العدة فإن هذا الأمر جائز، وذلك من نفس الآية في قوله تعالى: الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف، أي إذا أراد أن يرجعها إلى عصمته فيمسكها بمعروف. هذا دليل. وأيضا الدليل الثاني في قوله تعالى كما في سورة البقرة الآية 228: وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا، أي أن الزوج إذا أراد أن يرد زوجته ويصلح فيما بينه وبينها فهو أحق بذلك، فيجوز له إرجاعها. وأيضا من الأدلة على ذلك كما جاء في السنة أيضا بجواز ذلك، فقد قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في قضية عبد الله بن عمر ابن الخطاب رضي الله عنه عندما طلق زوجته قال: مره فليراجعها، مره فليراجعها. وهذا دليل على الرجعة والمراجعة. وكذلك طلق النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم حفصة أم المؤمنين ابنة عمر بن الخطاب، ثم راجعها صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. فالرجعة جائزة، وأجمع العلماء كما ذكر ذلك ابن المنذر، قال: الإجماع على جواز المراجعة فيما دون الثلاث، أي دون 3 طلقات، يعني الطلقة الأولى والثانية. أما بعد الطلقة الثالثة لا يجوز إرجاع الرجل الزوجة إلا إذا نكحت زوجا آخر ثم طلقت وانتهت عدتها. وهنالك ضوابط للرجعة نقولها بعد قليل.
So when the individual, when he wants to take his wife back, when she is in the waiting period, this is something that's permitted. And this act of taking her back is called in Arabic the raj'ah. And you could spell that in English as R-A-J-A-H. When before we said the talaq al-raj'i, this is the meaning. The talaq, the divorce, where he can take her back. So this act, the raj'ah, the taking back of the wife, this is something that is permitted. And an evidence of this is where Allah the Most High says, and divorce can take place twice. And then you either take the wife back in goodness or you give them that which is good. And also from the example, from the sunnah of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, when Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, when he had an incident with his wife, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to Umar, Shaykhana قال مره يعني قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said this to Umar. He said to Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, order your son, meaning order your son Abdullah ibn Umar to take his wife back. So this act of taking the wife back is legislated in Islam, and it's something that Islam has shown to be permissible. Also, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he himself, he divorced Hafsa, Hafsa, and then he took her back. And also, in addition to this, another evidence that shows the permissibility of it is the consensus of the scholars. The scholar of Islam, Ibn Munzir, Ibn-Munthir, he says that the scholars have consensus that the man can take his wife back, or his divorced wife back, if it is less than 3 times. If it's 3 times or more, then it's not permitted for him to take her back immediately until she marries someone else legitimately and then divorces that other third party. She divorces him, then she can take him back. So if it's 3 times, it's not permitted for him then to take her back until she has another legitimate marriage and then divorces from that marriage.
الرجعة إرجاع الزوج للزوجة له شروط وضوابط بينها العلماء. فمن ذلك أولا أن يكون الطلاق أقل من عدد الطلقات التي أبيحت للزوج. فأبيح للزوج 3 طلقات، فما كان أقل من 3 يجوز له الإرجاع. أما إذا استوفى العدد كامل 3 طلقات فلا يحق له إرجاعها وليس بيده ذلك.
So this act of Raj'ah, R-A-J-A-H, of taking the wife back, it has certain conditions, and there are certain criterion that must be fulfilled in order for it to be done successfully, and in order for it to be done in a way that it's correct. The first of those is that the relationship or the number of divorces that have taken place must be less than the maximum limit that's allowed for the individual. So as a total, they must be less than 3. After 3 times, the man is not permitted to take his wife back immediately until she has another legitimate marriage that then she divorces from.
ونضرب لذلك مثالا. رجل طلق زوجته قال لها أنت طالق، ثم مكث فترة الحيض الأولى وطهرت، وأثناء الطهر من الحيض الأولى أراد إرجاع زوجته، فإن له الإرجاع يرجعها. ثم مكث معها فترة من الزمن وحصل بينهم خلاف، فقال لها أنت طالق. هذه الطلقة كم؟ الثانية. فمضى جزء من العدة ثم أرجعها قبل انتهاء العدة، نقول يجوز له إرجاعها. ثم مضى فترة من الزمن وحصل بينهم خلاف، فقال لها أنت طالق، فنقول له بهذه الطلقة الثالثة لا يحق لك الإرجاع، تصبح الزوجة منك بائن وتتزوج زوجا آخر إن أرادت بعد انتهاء عدتها. فإن طلقها ذلك الزوج الآخر ولم يتفق معها وانتهت عدتها وأردت أن ترجعها، تتقدم لها كخاطب من الخطاب بعقد جديد ومهر جديد. هذا هو مثال للشرط أو القيد الأول. بارك الله فيك.
So a practical example of this, and bear with me, this is a journey. So this is an example that will explain the condition that we have just talked about. So if you bear with me with the picture, inshallah, you'll understand it in an even clearer way. So you have a husband and wife that are married, and then along the journey, they have an issue. And when they have that issue, the man gives the woman talaq. He gives her talaq, T-A-L-A-Q, which means divorce. He gives her the divorce. So that's divorce number 1. After divorce number 1, she goes through the waiting period, the period that she has to wait. She goes through her monthly cycle. She has cycle number 1. After her menstrual cycle number 1, she's then pure again. Then the man, he wants to take her back. So he says, let's get married again. Let's be married again. So then he takes her back. So then after that point, the marriage, it carries on. Then they spend a few months together, and then the issue arises and there's a problem. And then he says to her, you're divorced. This is divorce number 2. This is divorce number 2. So he gives her divorce number 2, and then she goes again through her iddah period, her waiting period. She goes through again. Then she has her cycle, her monthly cycle. Then she's pure again. And then he says, okay, let's try again. So then they go back and they revert to being married once again. They continue in this way for a number of months. And then the issue arises again. And he says, and he gives her again the divorce. He says, I divorce you. This is divorce number 3. So after this point, he's given her divorce number 3. It's now no longer within his right to then say, let's get back together. After this point, she must wait out her waiting period, which is a period of 3 of her cycles, and then for her to be pure. And then after she's pure, she gets married again to someone else. So she gets married to a different husband. She gets married there, and then they have a divorce. After that divorce, she has her 3 cycles, and he doesn't take her back. She has her 3 cycles, and then she's pure. Now it's legitimate for the first husband to try to marry her, but he has to try to marry her. It's not like before where he can just say to her, let's try again. Rather, he has to act, and he behaves and he's treated like a new suitor. So it's like it's a completely new marriage. So this is the practical example of this issue. Nikah sahih. Yes. So this second marriage, when the iddah finishes after the 3 talaq, and then she gets married to another suitor, it's a condition for this marriage to be a legitimate marriage. What does that mean? A legitimate marriage means that the first initial husband, he cannot arrange for someone else to marry his wife and consummate the marriage. Rather, she has a legitimate marriage and it legitimately breaks down. So it's not permitted for there to be an arranged marriage for the purpose of him to remarry his original wife. This is something that's been prohibited in Islam. The mahr. طيب شيخنا. طيب شيخنا إذا طلقت 3 وهو يريد ثم تزوجت بشخص ثاني، والأول الآن يريد أن يخطبها، هل عليه أن يدفع المهر ويبدأ من جديد كأنه
الآن بقول.
He said he'll explain it now.
نعم. فإذا طلقت من الزوج الآخر وبانت منه، يتقدم لها زوجها الأول بخطبتها كأنها زوجة جديدة. فإذا قبلت به ورضيت، يقدر لها مهر وعقد جديد وشهود وكأنه زواج جديد. وإذا لم تقبل به ورفضته، لها الحق في ذلك، فالحق لها الآن إما أن توافق عليه بشروطها، وإما أن ترجع له كذلك بالشروط، ولها حق في المهر ولها حق في كل حقوق الزوجة الجديدة التي يعني يريد الخطاب والأزواج أو الرجال أن يتزوجون بها.
So if we look at this example again, Allah yubarik fik, alayhi salam, no problem, akhi. So if we look at this example again, they've separated. And then she gets married legitimately to someone else. That marriage then breaks down, and she's gone through her waiting period. Now the first husband wants to marry her again. He is treated and he is to behave like a new husband or a new suitor. So, and here it's within her right to accept or reject. So if she accepts, then he must give the dowry again. He must give it again anew. The contract must be a new contract. There'll be witnesses. It's the whole thing as though he's a new suitor. And again, she has the right to refuse this, as she has the right to refuse any other suitor.
الشرط الثاني الذي ذكره العلماء أن تكون المطلقة مدخول بها. الشرط الثاني أن تكون هذه المطلقة مدخول بها، لأنه تزوجها فعلا ودخل بها وعاشرها ونام معها كما ينام الزوج مع زوجته. فإن طلقها قبل أن يدخل بها، رجل عقد عقد النكاح على مرأة، حضر الولي وحضر الشهود وقال زوجتك، قال قبلت وعقد، ثم بعدما عقد ودفع المهر وما إلى ذلك حصل خلاف بينهما بمكالمة هاتفية أو أثناء اللقاء أو كذا، فقام بتطليقها قبل أن يدخل بها. ففي هذه الحالة ليس له عدة عليها، ليس له عدة عليها، فليس عليها عدة مثل المرأة المدخول بها. ما هو دليل ذلك؟ دليل هذا قول ربنا جل وعلا كما في سورة الأحزاب الآية 49: يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نكحتم المؤمنات ثم طلقتموهن من قبل أن تمسوهن فما لكم عليهن من عدة تعتدونها فمتعوهن وسرحوهن سراحا جميلا. الشاهد قول ربنا جل وعلا فما لكم عليهن من عدة تعتدونها. فهذا هو الشرط الثاني من شروط الرجعة، أن تكون المطلقة مدخول بها، يحق له أن يراجعها. أما إن لم يدخل بها فلا حق له في العدة وتبين منه، ويضطر إلى خطبة جديدة ومهر جديد وعقد جديد.
The second of these conditions is that the wife or the husband and wife, the marital relationship has been consummated, i.e. they have had relations with one another. Because through this, the marriage has been actualized and it's been formalized. So if the husband grants a divorce to the wife before they have had relations, then he has no right to just return her. Or he has no right to return. Yes, he has no right to return her and to recommence with the marriage. So an example of this is that they have the husband and wife, they get together. They have the contract, the newlyweds, they have the contract. He gives her the dowry. And then before they are even alone, before they have an opportunity for intimacy, there is some sort of difference that they have between them. And as a result of this difference, he gives her a divorce. Now, this is a divorce that takes place before the marriage has been consummated, before they have had any private time with one another. In this case, there is no waiting period for her. She is a divorcee, and that's it. There's no waiting period. And the proof of this is the statement of Allah the Most High in the chapter Al-Ahzab, Al-Ahzab, where Allah the Most High says that, which means, O believers, if you marry believing women, then divorce them before you touch them. And that means marital relations with them. Before you have marital relationships with them, they will have no waiting period for you to count. So give them a suitable compensation and let them go graciously. So they have they take the dowry and they split up and they go their separate ways. Here, where the divorce takes place before the marital relations, he has no right to then just say, let's continue with the marriage. Rather, if he wants to continue with the marriage, then he has to start all over again, and they have to have a new contract and go over with the mahr and everything all over afresh.
الشرط الثالث أن يكون الطلاق بلا عوض، أن يكون الطلاق بلا مقابل مادي للزوج، بلا إعادة المهر له. فإن كان الطلاق بمقابل عوض قابل المهر لم تحل له هذه الزوجة إلا بعقد جديد وبرضاها. أما إذا كان بدون عوض فإن له أن يراجعها، لأن هذه شروط ماذا؟ هذه شروط التي يجوز للزوج إرجاع الزوجة. فإن كان الطلاق بلا عوض كان قال لها أنت طالق هكذا يحق له أن يرجعها. لكن إن كان الطلاق بمقابل أن تدفع له المرأة أو الزوجة مهرا، المهر الذي دفعه وتعطيه مالا لتفتدي نفسها منه، فإنه لا يحق له إرجاعها وتبين منه. فإن أراد سمى البينونة الصغرى كما يسمى بعض الفقهاء، ويحق له إرجاعها برضاها وأن يدفع لها مهرا جديدا وعقدا جديد، لأنها إذا افتدت نفسها ودفعت له المال وطلقها ويحق له الإرجاع دون الرجوع إليها، فما هي الفائدة من هذه الطلقة وهذا الفداء وهذا المال؟ لا فائدة من ذلك. ولذلك الإسلام يراعي جميع الجوانب ولا يرضى الضرر على أحد الطرفين، وهذا من رحمة الله جل وعلا وحكمته وعدله سبحانه.
So the third of these conditions, and remember, we're looking at the conditions where it is legitimate for the husband to take the wife back. So these conditions must be fulfilled. The third of these conditions is that the divorce does not take place in exchange for something financial. There is no financial thing or financial incentive or no other type of incentive that the husband has been given in order for him to give the divorce. So for example, it's not that she has given the dowry back or that she has given anything else back to him. So this is one of the conditions. If there is no money and there is no benefit that's involved, no financial benefit involved, he can take her back legitimately if it's twice or under, if it's once or twice. However, if there is a financial incentive or another incentive, he cannot take her back. وشيخنا إذا كان الطلاق عن عوض يقع الطلاق يقع. إذا كان الطلاق عن عوض
نعم
هل يصح الطلاق؟
هو يسمى خلع. هو يسمى خلع ولكن يعتبر طلاق، لكن لا يعتبر من عدد الطلقات الثلاث، لا يحسب.
طيب
هو لا يحسب.
وهذا يوجب بينونة الصغرى،
يعني يحق له إرجاعها بالموافقة إذا وافقت هي، لكن بينونة كبرى ما تحل إلا بزوج آخر. تسمى البينونة الكبرى.
والخلع هذا البينونة الصغرى.
الخلع هو يعني أن تبدي المرأة نفسها، والفقهاء لا يعتبرون الخلع من ضمن الأعداد الثلاث.
So if she gives him money or something material in order for there to be a divorce, then this is considered a khul'. This is a different KHULL. So this is like the undressing. This is what's her right and her way to come out of a marriage, for her to give some sort of monetary incentive for him to nullify, and it's counted as a nullification of the marriage. So if this is the case, she is given something, a monetary incentive for him to have a divorce. In actual fact, this doesn't count as a divorce. It counts as a type of nullification. نعم شيخ.
أيضا الشرط الخامس. نعم.
في أسئلة؟
الأسئلة بعد الندوة إن شاء الله سوف نجلس ساعة كاملة لسماع جميع الأسئلة إن شاء الله. اليوم نعم بعد الدرس.
If there are any questions, if you can stay, then we can take all the questions in a sitting. جزاك الله خير، الله يبارك فيك.
خامسا أن تكون الرجعة في العدة. أن يكون وقت مراجعة الزوج لزوجته أن يكون أثناء العدة التي يجوز له فيها المراجعة. أما إذا انتهت العدة فلا يحق له إرجاعها إلا بعقد جديد ومهر جديد. طيب نأتي إن شاء الله.
The fourth
أن تقول الرابع.
The fourth is that the taking back of the husband's taking back of the wife, it must be within the wife's waiting period. So remember, we said that there are 3 cycles that she has. Within that period, he can legitimately take her back without a new marriage contract. So the condition is that he takes her back within that period. Once that period expires, then the only way to be married to her or to continue the marriage, so to speak, is with a new contract, because actually the marriage has ended. So the only way to get back with her is through a new contract.
الشرط الخامس أن تكون الرجعة منجزة، فلا تصح معلقة، فلا تصح معلقة، كما لو قال إذا حصل كذا فقد راجعتك. هذا الكلام المعلق بشرط لا يصح في الرجعة، إما أن يراجع وإما أن لا يراجع. أما أن تكون الرجعة معلقة بشرط معين أو بزمن معين أو بأمر معين فلا، لأن الرجعة هي لها عدة محددة ووقت محدد، إذا انقضت فلا عبرة بالشروط والضوابط التي يضعها، فلا تكون معلقة وإنما تكون منجزة في وقت العدة، منجزة في وقت العدة الشرعية التي أجاز الشرع فيها إرجاع الزوج لزوجته.
The fifth of these conditions is that the taking back, the husband's taking back of the wife, it must be a taking back that is not conditional. It's not conditional on a certain time or a certain event taking place and then him taking her back. Rather, it's a definite taking back. What does this mean? It means that he cannot say, for example, when such and such a thing happens, then I will take you back. And then they sit around waiting for this to happen. Or when such and such a time comes, I will take you back. This is not correct. Rather, it should be something that's definite, and it should be within the time frame of the waiting period that we have already described.
رجل طلق زوجته وفي أثناء العدة أراد إرجاعها، كيف طريقة الإرجاع وبما يحصل الرجعة؟ قال الفقهاء رحمهم الله: تحصل الرجعة إما باللفظ كأن يقول لزوجته أو يقول راجعت امرأتي، راجعت امرأتي، ونحو ذلك، مثل رددتها أو أمسكتها أو أعدتها وما أشبه ذلك من الألفاظ أو الكلمات التي تدل على قصد الإرجاع لزوجته، إرجاع زوجته إليه. وكذلك يستحب الإشهاد. يستحب ماذا؟ أن يشهد 2 عدلين، أن يقول يا فلان ويا فلان، يا محمد، يا خالد، يا عبد الله، يا عبد الرحمن، يا عبد السلام، أشهدكم أني طلقت زوجتي طلقة واحدة ثم أرجعتها. يستحب ذلك وليس بواجب، يستحب ذلك. وأيضا مما يرجع به من الأفعال كأن يطأ زوجته ويجامعها، فهذا دليل على أنه رغب فيها وأراد ماذا؟ أراد إرجاعها فترجع إليه. وكل هذا في فترة العدة المشروعة التي يحق للزوج أن يرجع زوجته إلى عصمته ويبقي عليها في حكم الزوجية.
So we can say that the situation is such that the man has divorced his wife, and now the wife is in her waiting period. If he would like to take her back and recommence the marriage, how does he do so? Broadly speaking, there are 2 methods in which he can do this. The first of those is one that is done orally by speaking. And that is by him stating explicitly, I take you back, or I want you back. Something explicitly that means that he would like the marriage to recommence. So if he states this orally, it's considered to be that he has taken her back and the marriage has recommenced. When doing this, it's recommended, not obligatory, but it's recommended that there are two witnesses, two trustworthy witnesses that bear testament to this. So it could be that they call two people that they know, and they say, oh, Abdullah, oh, Umar, bear witness and be my witnesses that I gave this divorce to my wife, but now I'm taking her back. So this is something that's not obligatory, rather it's something that is recommended. So this is the way of taking her back that's oral or verbal through language. The second, taking her back, is one that is through action. And it's, for example, if he returns and has marital relations with her. So he has marital relations with her. The meaning of this is that he would like the marriage to recommence and he would like it to continue. So when we talk about this as well, we talk about these two methods of taking her back. These two are within the frame and within the lens of her being within the waiting period where it is permitted for him to indeed take her back. This is not the waiting period where it's impermissible for him to take her back.
ما هي حقوق الزوجة المطلقة طلاقا رجعيا، وما هي حقوق الزوج على زوجته في أثناء العدة؟ حقوق الزوجة على زوجها النفقة، الكسوة، والسكن، من تبقى في بيته ولا تخرج، ويؤدي لها حقوق الزوجة كاملة طالما أنها في أثناء العدة، يؤدي لها حقوقها كاملة لا ينقص عليها شيئا، مثلها مثل الزوجة التي لم تطلق، لأنها في فترة العدة التي مسموح فيها للزوجة أن تبقى في بيت زوجها وينفق عليها ويعطيها كامل حقوقها، لعل الله عز وجل أن يصلح بينهما.
So now we are going to look at the rights that the wife has. The wife who has been divorced, but it is still legitimate for her husband to take her back. What rights do they have? So she has the right of being looked after financially. She has the right to be clothed. She has the right for residence. So to stay in the house, and to be housed, and that she should not herself leave the house except with his permission. So in a broad sense, she has all of the rights due to her that were due to her at the time that they were married. And there is nothing that diminishes of those rights. And this is because she is within the waiting period. And this is a waiting period where she can legitimately be taken back. And the wisdom behind this is that if he continues to do this and he continues to treat her well, it may be that through Allah's permission, that rectification and reconciliation can occur between the estranged husband and wife, and they can recommence their marriage.
وكذلك للزوج عليها حقوق، وهي أن تتزين له وتتجمل له وتقوم بحقوقه في البيت وترعى أطفاله، لعل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يقذف في قلبه محبتها ويقذف ويزيل من قلبه ومن نفسه ما حصل بينهما من غضب وخلاف، فله أيضا أن يسافر بها وأن يطأها وأن يعني يفعل معها ما يفعل الزوج مع زوجته، وهذا خلال مدة العدة التي يحق له إرجاعها. فله حقوق للزوج وعليه واجبات، وللزوجة حقوق وعليها واجبات، وهذا من كمال الشريعة حتى تبقى هذه البيوت مستمرة ولا يحصل الانفصال مباشرة لأدنى سبب، بل يعطى للطرفين وقتا لمراجعة النفس، لهدوء الأعصاب، لذهاب الغضب، حتى يفكر الرجل وتفكر الزوجة. وهذه المدة مدة العدة التي تستغرق 3 حيضات ما يقارب 3 أشهر أو أكثر، مدة كافية لأن يراجع كل واحد منهما نفسه وينظر إلى محاسن الآخر وإلى مساوئه، وينظر إلى تقصيره وينظر إلى كماله. وكل هذا من الله سبحانه وتعالى تقنين وتشريع للمسلمين حتى تبقى هذه البيوت المسلمة مستمرة، وإعطاء فرصة لهم في الاستمرار وعدم الطلاق والانفصال.
Similarly, the husband during this period, he has certain rights upon his wife. So, for example, she should still continue to adorn herself and to look good and attractive for him during this period. She should still maintain the house. She should still look after and raise the children and pay due attentive care to them, because it could be through these actions that Allah the Most High, He takes out of the heart of the man the disdain or the anger that he used to feel towards his wife, and he replaces it with love. And during this period, he can interact with her as though she was his wife. So he can take her on his travels with her. He can have relations with her. And again, this is all done to continue the Islamic household and not to revert to divorce immediately. So when we look at this procedure and we look at this this process, we'll find that both the husband and the wife, they have rights that are upon them. They have rights that are upon them, and they also have rights that are due to them. So they have rights that are upon them and things that are obligatory for them to do, and they are also due their rights. So it's a two-way street or a two-way process. And this period, the waiting period, is of 3 months. And this is a significant period. This 3 months is a sufficient time frame for feelings to die, for anger to lower, for people to calm down and get back to their senses. It's a sufficient time to enable both the husband and the wife to reflect on what's gone on, to try and address the issues that they have. Because again, Allah the Most High, He legislates these things in order for the maintenance of the Muslim household and for the Islamic households to continue, and to stem and try and reduce the amount of differing and splitting up that we have within our communities.
وكذلك لا يجوز للرجل أو الزوج أن يأخذ شيئا من زوجته إلا برضاها. بين الله عز وجل في هذه الآية أنه يحرم على الزوج أن يأخذ شيئا مهما كان هذا الشيء من زوجته. فقال تعالى: ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا. قال تعالى: ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا. فقد صرح جل وعلا في هذه الآية الكريمة بأن الزوج لا يحل له الرجوع في شيء مما أعطى زوجته، ويحل له الرجوع في حالة واحدة، وهي الخلع كما ذكرنا في الشروط، أي لا جناح عليها في الدفع للزوج من أجل الاختلاع، ولا جناح عليه في الأخذ مقابل أن يطلقها. في هذه الحالة فقط يجوز للزوج أن يأخذ من الزوجة المال أو المهر الذي دفعه لها إذا أرادت أن تفتدي نفسها ولم تريد أن تبقى معه زوجة، ولا تريد أن تبقى معه يعني زوجة له، وكرهت الزوج وإن كان محسنا وإن كان خلوقا وإن كان طيبا، ولكن طالما أنها كرهته وكرهت العيش معه ولا تستطيع أن تعيش معه فلها أن تفتدي منه. وهذا مما جعله الإسلام حقا لهذه الزوجة أن تفدي نفسها بأن ترد له مهره. ودليل هذا أيضا حديث النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عندما جاءت إحدى الصحابيات إلى الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم تطلب منه الطلاق من زوجها، وأنها لا تعيب عليه خلقا ولا دينا، إلا أنها تكره أن تعود في الكفر بعد الإيمان. فقال لها الرسول صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: أتردين عليه حديقته، وهي المهر الذي أهداها، الذي أعطاها للنكاح، أعطاها حديقة بستان. فقالت: نعم يا رسول الله. فقال: ردي له حديقته. فعندما ردت له الحديقة قال الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم: طلقها، للصحابي. فطلقها رضي الله عنه، رغم أنه كان يحبها حبا شديدا وكانت هي تكرهه. فجعل الإسلام لها مخرجا وللمرأة مخرجا إذا رغبت الانفصال وترك هذا الزوج. وهذا من مراعاة الشريعة لجميع الأطراف. فإن الرجل كره المرأة ولم يرغب فيها طلقها، وإن هي كرهت الرجل ولم ترغب فيه طلبت الخلع فطلقها بمقابل. نعم.
And it's not permissible for the husband to take anything that he has given to the wife. So it's not permissible for him to take the things that he has given her. Allah the Most High says in the Quran that which means, and it's not permissible for you to take anything of those things that you have given to them, i.e., meaning given to your wives. So this is an explicit verse in the Quran that says that this act of taking things back from your wife is something that is not permissible. However, it is in one circumstance, and in one case it is, and this is the only case. This is the case that we have previously described in this lecture, and that is the case of the khul, K-H-U-L. And this is when the wife gives something of monetary value to the husband in order that he will divorce her, thus nullifying the marriage. So in this circumstance, it's permitted for him to take this money from her, or this wealth from her, in order to divorce her. And that's if she wants to be free of him. If she wants to be out of the marriage and no longer married to him, then she can do this, and he can accept what is being offered to him. And this is something that she can do even if his character is good, even if he is not necessarily mistreating her, but she just cannot bear to be with him. She cannot see that the life can go on. Islam has made this the right of the wife to do. And the evidence of this is the hadith, the narration of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, whereby one of the female companions came to him and she said, indeed, I want to separate from my husband. And she said, it's not that he mistreats me or that he's bad, but indeed, I fear disbelief, being married to him. So then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to her, would you not then give the garden that he gave you back? So as a means of a dowry, before they got married, he gave her a garden. This was her dowry. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked her, this dowry that he gave you, this garden, would you return it to him and give it back to him? And she said, yes, I would give it back to him and he can have it. So she gave it back to him. And then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, advised the man to divorce this woman. And the man, he loved her. He didn't want to, but he gave her the divorce because she disliked him and she did not want to be with him. May Allah be pleased with them all. And this, it shows the justness of Islam in that on the one hand, it's put the divorce as the right of the man if he is displeased with her. And for the woman, he has put this action, the khul, Khull, whereby she can return some the dowry to him or something of monetary value to him in order for him to give her a divorce and annul the marriage. So they both have a way out.
فالحكمة إذن الحكمة في جواز الخلع الذي أقره الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم في قوله أتردين عليه حديقته قالت نعم، وأنها كانت تبغضه أشد البغض وكان يحبها أشد الحب، ففرق الرسول صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم بينهما بطريق الخلع، فكان هذا الحدث أول خلع في الإسلام، فكان هذا الحدث أول خلع في الإسلام. وهذا الحديث هو أصل في الخلع وعليه جمهور الفقهاء فقهاء الإسلام. قال الإمام مالك رحمه الله لم أزل أسمع ذلك من أهل العلم وهو الأمر المجتمع عليه عندنا. لم أزل أسمع ذلك من أهل العلم وهو الأمر المجتمع عليه عندنا، وهو أن الرجل إذا لم يضر بالمرأة ولم يسيء إليها ولم تؤت من قبله وأحبت فراقه فإنه يحل له أن يأخذ منها كل ما افتدت به، فإنه يحل له أن يأخذ منها كل ما افتدت به، كما فعل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في امرأة ثابت بن قيس، وإن كان النشوز من قبله أي من قبل الزوج بأن يضيق عليها، وإن كان النشوز من قبله أي قبل الزوج بأن يضيق عليها ويضرها رد عليها ما أخذ منها. فالإسلام يراعي هذا الأمر بين الزوجين، وكان هذا الخلع هو أول خلع في الإسلام وعليه سار أهل العلم. الحكمة
إذا كان النشوز من قبل
الزوج ما يحق له نأخذ منها المهر،
ما هي
حتى كي لا يضرها. نعم، ويريد إذا كان تعمد الإضرار بها وكذا حتى تطلب هي الخلع وكذا لا يعطى. بعض الأزواج يضر المرأة ويتعمد سوء الخلق وكذا ولكن لا يطلق حتى تطلب هي إطلاق الخلع حتى يأخذ المال. والإسلام هذا الإسلام ما يجوز أن يضرها ويسيء لها ويضغط عليها حتى هي تطلب الخلع حتى يأخذ المال، وهو السبب. واضح؟
The wisdom behind شيخنا صلاة العشاء بعد 3 دقائق.
نكمل هذا المقطع.
نكمل هذا.
نكمل هذا ويؤذنون.
The wisdom behind the permissibility of this act, the khul, Khull, is in this instance that we've mentioned, was that this female companion, she used to detest her husband to a great degree, and the opposite was true of him, whereas he used to love her very, very much. And this hadith, this narration, is the first of this procedure in the religion of Al-Islam. And for this reason, the scholars, they say that this hadith, this narration, is an asl, it's a foundation, ASL, it's a foundation. It's a foundation in the evidences as relates to this matter of the woman giving her wealth in order to seek a divorce. And the Imam Malik, M-A-L-I-K, may Allah be pleased with him and have mercy upon him, he said, I continue to hear from the people of knowledge, and it's something that is agreed upon, that when the man,
إذا لم يضر بالمرأة ولم يسيء إليها.
if he doesn't, if he doesn't harm the lady and he's not abusive to her,
أحبت هي الفراغ.
and she wants there to be to be a separation, it's permitted for him to take back the wealth that he's given her in goodness. He is allowed to do that, as was done in the case that we've mentioned, the wife of the companion Thabit bin Qais, Thabit Binqays. However, if there is an issue from the man's side and he tries to manufacture this situation, i.e., he's difficult with her and he's bad to her, he mistreats her, and he starts problems with her with the intention, and he doesn't give her a divorce, but his intention is that he'll keep mistreating her until the point where she is forced to give him the dowry back, or to give him something financially, so that he then divorces her. If he tries to play this is something that's not permissible. This is not something that Islam has come with and legitimized.
ولذلك القاضي في المحكمة يسمع من الطرفين، فإن كان هي متضررة منه وهو اللي ضغط عليها، القاضي يأمر بالطلاق دون عوض.
So if this is the case and he keeps oppressing her and trying to manufacture her giving him this money, then they raise this matter to the judge, and the judge will listen to both parties, and if he is in the wrong, then he should give her and grant her the divorce without any financial compensation. Go on. وإذا كان شيخنا العكس، يعني هو يعاملها بخلق حسن،
قلنا تطلب الطلاق تعطيه عوض.
تطلب الطلاق أو تعطي
يطلقها بعوض.
So then she should give him the wealth, and then she should ask for the talaq. Then she should give him the dowry back and seek the separation. And that is what the khul is. Khull.
هذا نسأل الله التوفيق والقبول.
العادة ينتظرون، لكن
press right away.
نكمل بعد الصلاة.
After that, you continue.
نكمل بعد الصلاة. أنت بعد الأذان قل نكمل بعد الصلاة، بعد ما يتم الأذان. الله أكبر الله أكبر.
مستقيم معتدل. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن كل نفس لما عليها فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق من ماء يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجله لقادر يوم السرائر فما له ولا ناصر الله سمع الله لمن حمده الله 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 الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا. سمع الله لمن حمده الله 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 سمع الله لمن حمده الله 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 سمع الله لمن حمده الله 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 السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. As mentioned, alhamdulillah, we're providing support to the deaf community. These are when the conference is finished, or indeed before, then take a leaflet, which is what is called an donation to support Islamic. And inshallah, yearly conferences where the community can come, the city hour, the business, from the scholar, inshallah. Your sadaqah and your donations do make a difference. Alhamdulillah, this is the only Islamic conference, to my knowledge, that are where we provide also for the deaf community. If you know any, then please let me know so we can support. To my knowledge, this is the only organization that provides yearly and weekly lessons and conferences for our Muslim brothers and sisters, inshallah. So please, congratulations on the way up the card machine there. Inshallah, again, we'll continue the conference now. The questions and answers as well. Also, if sisters may have any questions, please make a note of it, write it down, and send your views out on the inshallah.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. في الآية الأولى التي مرت معنا في أول درس الآية الثانية، وهي قوله سبحانه وتعالى بعد ما ذكر فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به، قال تعالى: تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون، كما في سورة البقرة: تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها. فهنا ذكر العلماء رحمهم الله تعالى فائدة جميلة، وهي أن قوله سبحانه وتعالى في بعض الآيات فلا تعتدوها، وفي بعض الآيات فلا تقربوها، كما هنا في سورة البقرة: تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها. في بعض الآيات: تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها. فالفائدة، قال العلماء: إذا كانت الحدود مما يجب فعله قال تعالى فلا تعتدوها. إذا كانت مما يجب فعله قال تعالى فلا تعتدوها. وإذا كانت الحدود من المحرمات فإنه عز وجل يقول فلا تقربوها، فلا تقربوها. ومثال ذلك أضرب مثال حتى لعله يتضح. قال تعالى: تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها. فهذا الذي يكون كما في قوله، كما في هذه الآية التي في درسنا الآن، وهو أن الله عز وجل سبحانه وتعالى ينهانا أن نقرب الحدود التي أو المحرمات التي لا يجوز للمسلم أن يفعلها. والأمر الثاني في قوله تعالى فلا تعتدوها، يعني أيضا في بعض الأمور التي يأمر الله عز وجل بها فينهانا عن التعدي عليها. فنضرب مثال أيضا، قوله تعالى: لا تقربوا الصلاة وأنتم سكارى. الله أمرنا بالصلاة فنهانا لا نقرب الصلاة في حال السكر. قال: ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن. قال تعالى: ولا تقربوا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن. وهكذا كل أمر خطير أو جرم عظيم فإن الله عز وجل يأمرنا بعدم الاقتراب منه. تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها. فإذا لا نقترب من المحرمات ومن الجرائم العظيمة الكبائر التي يحذر الله سبحانه وتعالى منها. وأما الواجبات يجب علينا أن نفعلها فلا نتعدى فيها. فالمسلم يحرص على عدم التعدي. ومعنى يتعدى أي يتجاوز حدود الله، معنى يتعدى أي يتجاوز حدود الله. وفي هذه الآية الله سبحانه وتعالى قال: ومن يتعدى حدود الله فأولئك هم من الظالمين. والظلم نتكلم عنه بعد قليل. الآن القاعدة والفائدة في فلا تقربوها ولا تعتدوا.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. So in completion of the lecture we started with the Salah, we return to the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah, A-L-B-A-Q-A-R-A-H, and that's verse number 229. Where Allah the Most High said that means divorce may be retracted twice. Then the husband must retain his wife with honor or separate from another race. It is not lawful for husbands to take back anything without going to their wives, unless the couple fears not being able to keep within the limits of Allah. So if you fear that they will not be able to keep within the limits of Allah, there is no claim the wife compensate the husband to obtain divorce. These are the limits set by Allah, so do not transgress them. And whosoever transgresses the limits of Allah, indeed they are the true wrongdoers. So here, the scholars they mention a beautiful benefit, and that there are two similar wordings as relates to the things that we should not do, and the wordings in the Quran relate to them. And they are the word that is speaking in the verse of the Quran. And we do not transgress. فلا تعتدوا and then do not transgress the verb, and the second, do not go near to them, or do not even approach them, do not get close to them. So there are two variations, two similar wordings in the Quran. And the scholars, they talk about a very beautiful point of benefit as relates to when Allah Most High uses do not transgress them, and when Allah Most High uses do not get getting close to them or near to them. And they say that it goes down to the nature, or it refers to the nature of the thing that we are being prohibited from. So when there is something that is from the prohibited actions that are the Muslim, then Allah Most High uses the wording, do not go close to them, or do not approach them, or do not near them. These are the different translations for this Arabic sentence. However, if there is something that is obligatory upon us to do, then Allah Most High, He uses the other word which we have in this verse, do not transgress them, do not go over the wall or go over the set limit as relates to doing them. And we see various examples of this in the Quran. Allah Most High says, do not go near, or do not approach the salah of prayer while you are in a state of being intoxicated. Allah Most High said, do not approach or go near the wealth of the orphans. Allah Most High said, and do not near or go close or approach the lowly, base, violence. So all of these things, praying while in a state of intoxication, taking the wealth of the orphan, the lowly, evil acts, these are all things that have been prohibited. So for this reason, Allah Most High said, do not even go close to them. As for the obligatory things that we must do, then Allah Most High said, do not transgress, as we have said, do not go over the limits as relates to them. And in this ayah, in this verse of the Quran, Allah Most High said, do not transgress them. These are the limits set by Allah, so do not transgress them. And whoever transgresses the limits of Allah, they are the wrongdoers or the oppressors. And the Shaykh explains further.
التعدي على حدود الله سبحانه وتعالى التي ذكرها في آية الكل فلا جناح عليهم فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعدى حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون أي من يتجاوز حدود الله. المراد هنا بحدود الله أوامره أي أوامر الله سبحانه وتعالى التي أمر بها في هذه الآية الكريمة. فأولئك هم الظالمون. الظلم هنا ثلاثة أقسام. القسم الأول ظلم العبد فيما بينه وبين الله، وهو ظلم العبد نفسه، بارتكاب المعاصي، ذنوب، آثام، وإهلاك نفسه في معصية الله سبحانه وتعالى، وكان الله عز وجل عنه وترك ما أمر الله عز وجل به، فهذا ظلم العبد بنفسه وظلم بينه وبين الله سبحانه وتعالى. النوع الثاني ظلم العبد هو ظلم العبد الأكبر. الظلم الأكبر ماذا؟ هو الشرك، كما في الآية إن الشرك ظلم عظيم، أي أنه أعظم وأعلى درجة في الظلم هو الشرك. فالمسلم ينبغي له أن يوحد الله سبحانه وتعالى ويفرد الله جل وعلا بالعبادة، ولا يدعو غير الله، ولا يستغيث بغير الله، ولا يلجأ لغير الله، ولا يتوكل على غير الله، بل يصرف كل هذه العبادات لله سبحانه وتعالى. وأما الظلم الثالث وهو ظلم الذي يكون بين العبد وبين الخلق، بين العبد وبين العبيد، بين العبد وبين الخلق، فيظلم الناس، يأكل أموالهم، يعتدي على أعراضهم، يسرق، يغتصب. فالاعتداء على حقوق الآخرين أيضا هذا من الظلم الذي لا يجوز. فهذه أنواع الظلم الثلاثة، هذه أنواع الظلم الثلاثة.
So in this verse, Allah the Most High says, and whosoever transgresses Allah's limits, and the limits set by Allah, so do not transgress to them. And whosoever transgresses the limits of Allah, they are the oppressor. So here, when Allah the Most High talks about the limits, the meaning of this are the orders that He has commanded us to do. These are the limits of Allah, and this is what we're going to do in this noble verse. And when Allah the Most High says, those who transgress who go overboard with related to the things that he has ordered with, they are the oppressor. Then we say that the oppression is of three kinds. The first is the oppression that occurs between the slave and their Lord, the slave and Allah the Most High. And in actual fact, this is the oppression of oneself, where one oppresses oneself by committing acts of disobedience to Allah, by sinning, by doing things that Allah the Most High has prohibited us from, or leaving away from doing those things that He has ordered us with. So all of this is the oppression of the slave to themselves in actual fact. The second type and category of oppression is the greater type of oppression. And it's when the slave associates partners with Allah the Most High, the concept that we know as shirk, S-H-I-R-K, associating partners or equals to Allah the Most High. And Allah the Most High said in the Quran, indeed, shirk, S-H-I-R-K, is the great question. Associating partners with Allah is indeed a great question. This is the verse in the Quran. So it is incumbent, and this is necessary for the Muslim to worship Allah most high and alone, to single Him out to the exclusion of all others in worship, such that when they seek refuge, they do not seek refuge in anyone except for Allah the Most High. When they supplicate, they do not supplicate to anyone except for Allah the Most High. When they slaughter, they do not do so for anyone other than Allah the Most High. And this is the pattern. This is how they progress. They do not associate anything in any act of worship with Allah the Most High. It's purely for Allah the Most High alone. And this is the second category of oppression, and it's the greater form of oppression that we call in Arabic shirk, S-H-I-R-A. The third category of oppression is when the slave oppresses another person or another thing in the creation of Allah the Most High. So it could be that they take their wealth unlawfully. It could be that they steal from them. It could be that they beat them. They do something that they are not allowed to do, or they curse them. So it's in actual fact transgression upon others.
فالشرك لا يغفره الله عز وجل إلا بالتوبة. الشرك لا يغفره الله عز وجل إلا بالتوبة. الشرك هو صرف ما يجب الله سبحانه وتعالى من العبادة إلى غيره من المخلوقين، هذا هو الشرك. وأما ظلم العباد وأما ظلم المسلم نفسه بالوقوع في المعاصي والذنوب التي بينه وبين الله فهي تحت مشيئة الله سبحانه وحكمته، إن شاء غفر له وإن شاء عذب. والثالث وهو ظلم العباد، التعدي على حقوقهم وما لهم، فهذا الأمر لا يتركه الله سبحانه وتعالى، إما أن يؤتي العباد حقوقهم ويرد لهم المظالم التي ظلمهم فيه أخذ منهم، وإما يقتص الله عز وجل لهم منه يوم القيامة. فناسب ختم الآية التي تتكلم عن الطلاق وعن الخلع أن هذا الأمر قد يحصل صلح بين الزوج والزوجة، فإما أن تطلقها وإما أن تظلمها. فحذرنا سبحانه وتعالى من التعدي على حدوده أو على حقوق الآخرين تحذيرا شديدا منه سبحانه وتعالى، فقال: تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها. ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون. نعوذ بالله جل وعلا من الظلم أو من كنا ظالمين ومعتدين، ونسأل سبحانه وتعالى الهداية والثبات على الحق والصلاح.
So returning to these three types of oppression, shirk, S-A-I-R-K, this is a type of sin that is not forgiven except through repentance. Technically, the servant, the slave, the worshipper repents expressly and specifically for this act of associating others besides Allah in worship. They must repent specifically for this act. And as we've said, the definition of shirk, S-A-I-R-K, is to direct worship, which is the right of Allah the Most High. All worship is the right of Allah the Most High exclusively, but to direct this to other than Allah from the creation. So this is the first type of oppression that we actually the second type that we looked at. The first type of looked at was the oppression of the Muslim to themselves, and that is through disobedience to Allah. It's through sinning. These types of things are under the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, under the will of Allah the Most High. If Allah wills, then He will forgive them, and if He wills, He will punish them for these sins. And the third type is the oppression of the slave to the other creation and to transgress as relates to their rights. This is a type of oppression that Allah the Most High will not forgive. Either it's upon the slave to return that right that they've taken and to right that wrong with the other creation, or Allah the Most High will judge between them in the hereafter on the day of standing. And it's fitting for the verse that talks about the divorcing and the interaction with the full K-H-U-L-L. It's fitting for this verse to end in a warning against oppression, because these are the circumstances in which oppression may take place, and it's likely to take place. So Allah Most High, when explaining how to do these things, He expressly warns that when we do these things and we go down those paths, that oppression is strictly prohibited. And Allah the Most High says in the verse itself, these are the limits of Allah, so do not transgress them. And indeed, those who transgress the limit of the orders of Allah, then surely they are the oppressors. And we ask Allah the Most High, or we seek refuge with Allah the Most High from oppression, and we ask from Him guidance, establishment upon His religion, and rectification.
طيب، في ختام هذه المحاضرة ننصح إخواني المسلمين وأخواتي المسلمات أن يحافظوا على بيوتهم من الطلاق أو الخلع أو الفسخ أو غيره من أنواع الانفصال، وأن يصلحوا فيما بينهم، وأن يصبر الرجل المسلم على زوجته إن كره منها خلقا يرضى منها الآخر، وكذلك الزوجة تصبر على زوجها فإن كره منه خلقا ترضى منه الآخر، ويتعامل بالعطف والرحمة والشفقة، وينظر إلى مصلحة هذا البيت، وينظر إلى مصلحة الأبناء الذين بينهم، فيكون هذا الأمر من أعظم الأمور التي يتقرب بها المسلم وتتقرب بها المسلمة إلى الله جل وعلا، وهو المحافظة على البيت المسلم، المحافظة على البيت المسلم من الهدم، لأن هذا الأمر يفرح الشيطان، وكما في الحديث أن الشيطان يعني على عرشه فوق الماء، يأتوه الشياطين كل مفتخر بالعمل الذي عمله في بني آدم من الإنس، فيقول أحدهم جعلت فلان يشرب الخمر ويفعل كذا وكذا، فيسمع من الآخر فيقول فرقت بين فلان وبين زوجته، فيضمهم ويقول أنت أنا إذني عليه. ماذا؟ لماذا؟ لأن الشيطان يريد ماذا؟ يريد أن يفرق الأسر المسلمة. ولذلك نجد الشياطين يتعاملون مع السحر، والذين من صميم عملهم كما بين الله جل وعلا ذلك في الآية التي في سورة البقرة: اتبعوا ما تتلو الشياطين على ملك سليمان وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا، إلى قوله تعالى: يفرقون بين المرء وزوجه، أي يسعون بهذا السحر إلى التفريق بين المرأة وزوجها، بين الزوج وامرأته. فهذا مما يفعل الشيطان، فلنحافظ على بيوتنا والنصبر ونحتسب، نريد من الله جل وعلا الثواب والأجر. نسأل الله عز وجل أن يحفظ بيوتكم وأسركم وأولادكم، وأن تكون الأسر المسلمة في ذعة وأمان وسكون ومحبة وعطف ورحمة ونموذج يعتدى به في كل مكان، ولا سيما في البلدان التي يسودها الخلافات والتفرق بين الأزواج والتشتت الأسري. فحافظوا على أسركم، أبنائكم وزوجاتكم وأزواجكم، وكونوا من أجمل وأروع الأمثلة في هذه الأماكن. بارك الله فيكم، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم.
To conclude this lecture, I give advice and I advise my brothers and my sisters to take diligence, or to take due care and diligence over their households, to try and refrain from jumping into divorce, the khulun, and splitting up and division. The man, the husband, should have patience upon his wife. If there is a characteristic that she has that he detests and does not like, he should look to a characteristic of hers that instead he likes. And similar to the wife, if there is a characteristic of her husband that she finds displeasing and does not like, then she should look to a characteristic of his that she does like. Also, I give you advice to have gentleness with one another, to come together and to look and think about the greater good and the greater benefit of your household and of your children. And then from one of the greatest things that brings someone closer to Allah the Most High is that they establish a household. They establish a household and they keep this sense of togetherness. There is great reward in this. And conversely, there is nothing that is more delightful to the devils and the shaitan, the devil, than the splitting up and the splintering, the fracturing of the Islamic family. As is coming the leading narration of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that the devil, shaitan, he was upon his throne, and his throne was upon water. And then some of his members of his army come to him, and one of them comes to report, and he said, the shaitan asks, the devil asks them, what have you done? And the first one comes forward and says, indeed, I made so drink alcohol. And it was as though the devil, he didn't really do this anything great. Then the second one comes forward and he said, indeed, I caused so-and-so, this man, to split up from his wife, and I caused separation amongst their family. And then the shaitan, the devil, he stands up and he says, you, a sign of proof for what this devil did, and then he embraces him. He embraces him as a sign of gratitude to what he has done. So we see this is something that pleases the devils. And in sync with this, the magicians, those who busy themselves with magic, those who busy themselves with the devils, this is one of the things that they do. They dabble in the separating of the husband and the wife. And it's mentioned in the verse of the Quran, in the chapter of Cow, Surah Al-Baqarah, B-A-Q-A-R-A-H. It's mentioned in this verse, the verse of magic. Allah Most High said, and it talks about the types of magic that the devils teach to the sorcerers, and he mentions the Most High, and they teach them that type of magic that separates a woman from her husband. It causes separation. So this is one of the characteristics of the devils and of the magicians, that they love this kind of separation and this splintering. So I ask Allah the Most High for him to give you the success to preserve your families, to preserve your marriages, to preserve your children, because these things can be done and should be done in order to please Allah the Most High, with mercy, with good feeling, with effort. And especially, this is especially important for you in these lands and in countries where separating and divorcing has become widespread and something that's normal. So it's only fitting that the Muslims are a good example for others in this. I ask Allah the Most High to accept from us and to send and shower peace and blessings and salutations upon the Prophet Muhammad and upon his family and companions and those who follow them to the day of resurrection. So now we have the questions, the written questions that we have that have been ordered. Yes, let's. نعم هذا الأخ
أول واحد. نعم.
نعم كان ينتظر كثيرا.
خلي يسأل.
Which? السؤال شيخنا، من له الحضانة، ولعل هذا لدرسكم شيخنا، من له الحضانة عند الافتراق أو عند الطلاق؟ هل تذهب إلى المرأة أو الرجل؟ ثابت الله.
في الإسلام الحضانة لمصلحة المحظون، فإن كانت مصلحة المحظون عند الأم فيكون عند الأم، وإن كانت مصلحة المحظون عند الأب يكون عند الأب، وذلك بالنظر إلى الحاجة. فإن كان المحظون الأطفال صغير جدا، مولود إلى سنة إلى سنتين 3، فإن الأصل أن تكون للأم ويبقى عند الأم، لأنه بحاجة إلى الرعاية الخاصة التي لا يحسنها إلا الأم، والأب لا يستطيع القيام بذلك، بل إلى 7. وبعد ذلك إن تجاوز الطفل 7 سنوات أو أكثر فإنه يخير بين الأب وبين الأم، فإن اختار الأب يعيش معه، وإن اختار الأم يعيش معها. وكذلك للأب أو للأم، لأي أحد منهما في فترة حضانة الآخر في الإسلام أن يعترض على هذا الأمر إن كان في أحد إن كان في هنالك ضرر على المحظون عند من احتضنه، إن كان هنالك ضرر على المحظون. فمثلا المحظون يكون لدى وهو صغير إلى 7 سنوات عند الأم، وهذه الأم لا تقوم بحقوقه وشؤونه، مهملة، ربما تضره، تتركه في البيت وتخرج بالساعات الطويلة، لا تقوم بشؤونه، ومثل ذلك من الأمور التي فيها إهمال وتقصير. في هذه الحالة الحاكم الشرعي ينقل حضانة إلى الأب إن كان يستطيع، أو ينقل حضانة في الإسلام إلى الأم، تنتقل حضانة إلى الأم، لأن هي أولى بالحضانة إن كانت على قيد الحياة. وإن كانت الحضانة عند الأب بعد 7 قبلها وحكم له وكان هنالك ضرر على المحظون، أن الأب مهمل ومقصر، فللأم أن تعترض وتنتقل الحضانة. هذا في الإسلام، هذا في الإسلام. فمصلحة المحظون هي المقدمة، مصلحة المحظون هي التي يقدمها الشرع والقضاة في المحاكم الشرعية الإسلامية. الله أعلم.
So the guiding principle in this matter is that the custody of the children, it goes to whoever of the parents it's in the best interest of the children for them to go to. So if it's in the best interests of the children to go to the mum, then the mother should get custody of them. And if it's in the best interests of the children for the custody to go to the father, then they should go to the father. When we see that the children are very small and they're young, so for example, if they're below the age of 7 and they need special care, they need that attention, they need the gentleness and the attentiveness, usually this means that they will go to the mother, because generally it's difficult for the father to give this kind of care and to cultivate them in the way that they need it. After this, after the age of 7, when they're a little bit older, they're given the choice. So then they can choose whether they go with the mother or they go with the father. And then if they choose either way, then that is the way that they go. During the period of the children being in the custody of the other parent, the father or the mother, who isn't the custodian of the child, they have the right, if the children are being harmed or they're not being looked after well, or if they're in danger, they have the right to raise this as an issue Islamically for the custody to be changed. So, as we have said, below the age of 7, the custody is usually with the mother. However, if we find that the custody is with the mother and there are young children below the age of 7, but for example, she leaves them in the house by themselves, she's negligent of them, or she harms them in some way, then the father can take this to the ruler, who can then move the custody to the father. Or it could be that he removes the custody from the mother to the maternal grandmother. So the mother's mother would then take them, because she is the most deserving after the mother. And it's a similar case for the father. If after the age of 7 and they go with the father, they're with the father and the father is negligent of them and they're in harm's way due to being with the father, then the custody can go, it can go to the mother. So the overriding principle in this is that what's in the best interests of the children is what is given precedence, and what's good for them is facilitated.
النفقة على الأب في جميع. نعم. قال تعالى: ولينفق ذو سعة من سعته. فالأب هو المسؤول عن النفقة على أولاده. النفقة عندما يكون الأبناء عند الأم في حضانة الأم هو ملزم بالنفقة. هذا في الإسلام، ينفق على الأولاد، ليس له علاقة بالأم، ينفق على الأولاد، المأكل والمشرب والملبس، أكلهم وشربهم ولباسهم وكسوة العيدين تعطى لهم، وكذلك المسكن إن لم يكن عند الأم مسكن فيؤمن لها مسكن مناسب على قدر سعته هو يحضن في يعيش فيه أولاده. الله جزاك الله خير على السؤال، أحسنت.
So the brother then asked, during this period of custody, who is financially responsible for the children? And our Sheikh, may Allah preserve him, responded by saying that Allah the Most High says that the man should pay فَلْيُنْفِقْ ذُو سَعَةٍ مِّنْ سَعَتِهِ. The man should pay through the means which he is able to. He should pay as much as he is able to. So the father is the one, even if the mother has the custody, it's upon him to provide for his children their food, their drink, their clothing, their housing. And he said this was indeed a good question. So now we'll go to the written questions. The first one was in talk 1, the talk of our Sheikh Muhammad al-Maliki. In terms of finding a marriage partner these days, inshallah, what is permissible? E.g., there are many online dating apps, sites, etc., and some brothers and sisters having to arrange things themselves, often without any help, support from wider family. بالنسبة البحث عن زوج أو زوجة في هذه الأيام، ما هو الجائز لنا؟ مثلا هناك كثير من المواقع في الشبكة العنكبوتية للزواج أو للبحث عن
زوجة.
نعم، عن زوجة. ومن الإخوة والأخوات منهم من عليهم أن يفعلوا ويرتبوا الأمور بأنفسهم، يعني ليس لديهم أي مساعدة أو دعم من العائلة. فما رأيكم في هذه الأمور؟
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. الأصل في البحث عن الزوج أو الزوجة المناسب هو عن طريق المعارف الثقات. الرجل يطلب من أمه وأخواته وخالاته وهكذا أن يبحثن له عن امرأة صالحة يتزوجها، والمرأة كذلك يبحث لها أبوها أخوها، وهذا حصل حتى بزمن الصحابة. فإن عمر رضي الله عنه لما كانت ابنته حفصة خالية بحث لها، كان عرضها على أبي بكر الصديق لعلمه بكفاءته الدينية رضي الله عنه، إذ ليس أحد مثل أبي بكر بعد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. ولما لم يبدي أبو بكر رغبة في الزواج عرضها على عثمان، فلما لم يبدي الزواج رغبة في الزواج، وذلك لأنهما سمعا من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم شيئا فهم منه أنه يرغب الزواج بحفصة، وإلا فمثل عمر لا ترد مصاهرته. لكن الشاهد أن عمر رضي الله عنه سعى لمصلحة ابنته، وهكذا الرجل إذا أراد أن يتزوج فيستشير النساء. أما أن يستشير موقع، ما الذي يعرف الموقع بكيف هذه المرأة؟ الله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول فاظفر بذات الدين، الذين على الموقع لا يعرفون هذه ذات دين أو ليست ذات دين، وضعت معلوماتها وانتهى الأمر. وكذلك الرجل، النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال: إذا أتاكم من ترضون دينه وخلقه فزوجوه. هذا يحتاج إلى بحث، وإلا لماذا جعل الولي؟ إلا من أجل هذا، للبحث. أما هذه المواقع فأسأل الله عز وجل أن يكون فيها خير، لكن ليس هذا هو الأصل في النكاح. أصل في النكاح أن يكون عن طريق الثقات، من المعارف الثقات. هذه أمانة. الإنسان إذا أراد أن يشتري بيت أو سيارة يبحث عن الثقات المتقنين كذا حتى يعني يشير عليه. فكيف بأمر النكاح الذي ليس هو متعة فراش؟ النكاح الأصل فيه نسل وذرية، كما ذكر الله عز وجل في القرآن، كما ذكر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في الحديث: إني مكاثر بكم الأمم يوم القيامة. فهذا الأصل، والله أعلم.
So the norm and the starting point when looking for a spouse is to look for someone who is trustworthy and someone who is upright in terms of their religion. And the man can do this through his female relatives, through the mother and sisters. And the woman, she can do this again through her family or through her acquaintances. And that could be anyone. Sort of her female acquaintances, I mean. And we see examples of this at the time of the companions of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. We see that Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, he went and he was looking for a suitor for his daughter Hafsa, Hafsa. And she at the time she wasn't married, so he was looking for her. So Umar went and he approached Abu Bakr, Abubakr. And this was because Abu Bakr, the truthful one, he was a man who was known for his religiousness, and he was a man who was of a high degree of faith. After the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he had the highest degree of faith amongst the people of that time. And there was no one who was like him. But Abu Bakr, he said, Abubakr, he said that he did not want to marry her. So then Umar, he went to Uthman, Uthman. He went to Uthman and he offered again his daughter for marriage. But Uthman, he refused. He refused because he had heard that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, wanted to get married to Hafsa, Hafsa, himself. So because he had heard this, out of respect, he left the way clear for the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, to do or to marry her. Because really, the case of Umar, Umar, is that he was a man of such a great standing within the community. The likes of him wasn't that he was someone that one would refuse. So it was due to their respect of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that they refused. And the point is that Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, he went out to look and seek actively for a wife, for a husband, for his daughter. And he looked and he tried to choose the one with the best and most complete religion. As the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said in the narration that we took earlier today, about marrying the one with the religion, choose her and you will be successful, or you will fail if you do not choose her. So the underlying point is that we choose someone who is of a good level in their religion. As for looking on these internet sites and these apps, it's impossible to know the level of someone's religion and what they're actually like through them. And also, when we look at the hadith, the narration of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, he said that when a man comes to you and his character and his religion are pleasing to you, and he seeks marriage of your wife, then accept it. Of your daughter. He seeks marriage of your daughter. I'm a bit tired.
If it is of your wife, kill him.
And he seeks your daughter's hand in marriage, then give it. So this also indicates that the individual, they should take up the effort in a halal way to seek this. And we also must see, why has the wali, W-A-L-I, the guardian of the woman, what's his role anyway? And of course, this is a major part of his role, so that he can look to get the best possible suitor for his wife. So this is the norm for his daughter. I've done it again, for his daughter. So this is the norm. This is the norm, that the individual looks for the trustworthy ones and those who are of a good level of religion and faith.
في إضافة إذا سمحت شيخ.
تفضل.
هناك إضافة مهمة، وهي أنه في المجتمعات الإسلامية الأقلية مثلا يجب أن نراعي حال المسلمين فيها، ونقتبس من أحاديث الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم وأول الإسلام كيف كان حالهم. فمثلا أن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم جاءت إليه امرأة وعرضت نفسها على الرسول صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم، ولم يكن فيه حاجة إليها، فعرضها على الصحابة، فطلبها أحد الصحابة وتزوجها. يؤخذ من هذا الحديث أنه أيضا يمكن الخروج عن العائلة والأسرة والأهل والإخوان والأخوات وكذا، وأن يذهب إلى الإمام للمسجد أو مشرف مركز إسلامي، سواء كان الذي يرغب الزواج رجلا أو امرأة، فيذهب إليه ويطلب منه أن يدله على زوجة صالحة، أو المرأة تقول أريد زوجا صالح أو رجلا مسلما. فهذا أيضا من الوسائل التي تعين على إعفاف الشباب وإعفاف الشابات المسلمين والمسلمات، عن طريق المراكز الإسلامية، عن طريق أئمة المساجد، عن طريق العلماء الدعاء أهل الصلاح والخير الذين يسعون إلى الخير والصلاح للمسلم والمسلمة في حال لم يتوفر لهم مجتمع أسري كبير فيه الأعمام والعمات والأخوال والخالات، مثل بعض المسلمين الذي يسلم الرجل لوحده ولا يستطيع أن يعتمد على أسرته الكافرة في البحث عن زوجة تتناسب مع دينه والكفاءة الدينية التي عليه. وكذلك قد تسلم المرأة وتكون مسلمة وهي من بيئة ومجتمع كلهم كفار، ولا تستطيع أن تعتمد على وليها الكافر في ذلك، فتلجأ إلى الإمام أو العالم أو الشيخ أو رئيس المركز الإسلامي والمسلم إخوانها المسلمين لإعفافها بالرجل الصالح. والله أعلم.
وأيضا حتى هذه المواقع بشرط أن يكون القائمين عليها مؤهلين لمعرفة الصالح من غير الصالح، وأمناء يبحثون فعلا. لكن الذي عرفناه من هذه المواقع عندكم أو عندنا أنهم فقط عندهم يعني صفحة معلومات تضع فيها المطلوب، وهذا حدهم، وهذا لا يكفي لمعرفة صلاح الزوج والزوجة. إذا وجد مثلا المركز الإسلامي مظنة الصلاح، إمام المركز، القائمين على المركز، شيوخ، دعاة، علماء، هؤلاء مظنة الصلاح، لن يختار للمرأة التي تطلب منه إلا ما يختار لابنته وأخته. لكن أن يدخل إنسان على هذه المواقع ويضع ما يقال عنها بياناته ويبحث في البيانات التي للنساء، يقول هذه تناسبني، تناسبك على أي أساس؟ قال لأنها طولها، لأن أنا رأيت هذا، يضع طولها كذا، وزنها كذا، ليست هذه مقومات الزواج. مقومات الزواج الدين والخلق. الدين والخلق. أيا كان من يبحث لك يجب أن يكون عنده نظر دقيق في هذين الأمرين، الدين والخلق. أما الطول والعرض وكذا هذا ليس معيار للزواج. نعم.
So we should also see that Islamic or Muslim minorities living Muslim minorities should also look to see the condition of the Muslims in the early stages of al-Islam. And we see that a woman went to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and she offered herself in marriage to him, peace and blessings be upon him, but he refused her. And when he refused her, he then offered her to the other companions, the companions who were around, and one of them married her. So we take from this a point of benefit, that it's permitted and it's a practice that should be done, that the individual, whether they be a male or a female, if they want to get married, they should go to the imam or someone who is in a position in the community of leadership and responsibility, for them to look for or find someone who is suitable for them to get married. So this could be the imams of the masjids, this could be the Islamic centers, this could be the places where there are students of knowledge, etc. Because we have people in these communities who, for example, they don't have Islamic families. The new Muslim male or the new Muslim female who embrace al-Islam, they don't have that network, they don't have the support because their families most likely are not Muslim. So these individuals, they should go to these community hubs so that they can seek out righteous spouses. And then our Sheikh Muhammad al-Maliki, may Allah preserve him, he added and he said that the intent behind us looking and finding someone who's a righteous spouse is that they are of good character and good religion. And while it could be the case that through the internet websites, this could be found out. But in reality, when we look at these websites and what we know of them is that these pages, they have profiles and they have a list of details about the individual, such as their weight, their height, and these things. And this kind of profile is not sufficient to gauge the level of an individual's religion, nor to gauge the qualities of their character. Rather, the Islamic institutions, they are the most likely place for you finding someone of good character and of good religion. So it shouldn't be said that an individual could go to the website and say, right, this is a suitable wife for me because she's this tall and she weighs this much. This isn't the measurement of an Islamic successful marriage. Rather, the measurement of a successful Islamic marriage is the individual's religiousness and also the qualities of their character. So we go then to the second question, and that was from the second talk, حقوق الزوج والزوجة شيخنا. In terms of marriage and the wife's responsibilities towards her husband's family, the in-laws, there's often practices where there are cultural expectations that the wives will live with and serve the in-laws. What are her rights under Islam in cases where her in-laws might not be treating her very well or impacting upon the couple's relationship? شيخنا في الزواج تكلمنا عن حقوق المرأة وحقوق الرجل في الزواج، وهنا في عاداتنا وتقاليد الناس لا سيما من الهند والباكستان، هناك عادات أن المرأة إذا تزوجت ودخلت الأسرة يجب عليها أن تخدم جميع عائلة زوجها، وإذا ولهم أن وعليها أن تعيش معهم وتخدمهم جميعا. فما هي حقوقها في الإسلام؟ وما هي حقوقها عندما أقارب الزوج يسيئون إليها ولا يعطون لها حقوقها؟ أثابكم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. المرأة يجب عليها كما قال أهل العلم أن تخدم زوجها، أما أن تخدم كامل الأسرة فهذا ليس بفرض ولا بواجب عليها، إنما إذا أدت ذلك من طيب نفسها وخاطرها بطيب نفس فلا بأس، الأمر لا يعدوها، هذا حق من حقوقها، وهي أرادت أن تتكرم وتتفضل هي تكون المتكرمة والمتفضلة من عند نفسها دون وجوب عليها، يعني لا يجب عليها أن تخدم كامل الأسرة، وإن كانت العادات تقول بذلك، لكن لا يجب عليها. وبإمكانها أن تشترط قبل الزواج أن يكون لها بيتا مستقلا، وبالتالي لا تخدم إلا زوجها وأولادها، والمؤمنون على شروطهم كما قال النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام إن أولى ما أوفيتم به من الشروط ما استحللتم به الفروج. فإذا وافق الزوج على هذا الشرط من المرأة أنها تكون في بيت مستقل فهو يجب عليه وجوبا أن يوفي لها بهذا الشرط ولا يغفر ذمته بعدم تطبيقها. فالمقصد أن على المرأة أن تخدم زوجها وأولادها وجوبا عند كثير من أهل العلم على الوجوب، أما غيرهم فلا يجب عليها إلا بطيب نفس منها. ولعل المشايخ يضيفون شيئا في ذلك والله أعلم.
Indeed, all praises are due to Allah, and may peace and blessings and salutations be showered upon the Messenger of Allah. The wife, it's obligatory upon her to serve her husband. As for her to serve the entirety of the husband's family and her in-laws, then this is something that's not obligatory upon her. And it's not something that she should do, except if she does so voluntarily out of her own goodness. So there is no harm if she does it in this way. If she wants to be extra good and she wants to be extra pleasing to her husband, then it's allowable for her to do it. However, if she does so, then she does so without any obligation upon her. Because there is no obligation for her to serve the entirety of her husband's family, even if there are cultural norms that say that she should. And it's well within her rights before the marriage, to make as a condition of the marriage that she will live in her own house away from the in-laws. And also it's acceptable for her to make as a condition that she will not serve all of her in-laws. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the Muslims are upon their conditions, meaning the conditions that they lay in transactions. These are conditions that should be fulfilled. Muslims are honorable in terms of fulfilling these conditions. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, also said the most worthy of the conditions that should be fulfilled are the conditions for the contracts that make the private parts permissible, i.e. the contracts of marriage. So if she makes a condition upon the marriage that she wants her own house to live in and that she will not serve the entirety of her husband's family, and then he goes ahead with the marriage contract, it becomes obligatory upon him to comply with these conditions. As for serving in a general sense, then the most of the scholars say it's obligatory upon her to do this for her husband and for her children. But as for her to do it for the entirety of his family, then this is not obligatory upon her.
أيضا تستطيع المرأة أن تشترط عدم الخدمة، أنها إذا تزوجت أنها لا تخدم إلا زوجها وأولادها. وأيضا هناك قاعدة علمية عند أهل العلم بعنوان القاعدة العلمية بعنوان العادة محكمة. فإذا هي تزوجت من هذا الشخص وهي تعلم أن من عادة هذه العوائل وهذه القبائل وهذه الجنسيات أن المرأة تخدم كامل الأسرة، فإذا هي دخلت على بينة وأنها مثل باقي بنات جنسها وبنات بلدتها، أنها تخدم البيت بأسره ما لم تشترط أنها لا تخدم إلا زوجها وأولادها. أما الشطر الثاني من السؤال تقول أنها قد تجد بعض الظلم من بعض أهل أسرة زوجها، فالظلم ظلمات ولا يجوز، والله سبحانه وتعالى حرم الظلم على نفسه وجعله بين عباده محرما. أولا تدعو الله عز وجل أن يرفع عنها هذا الظلم، ثانيا تحاول أن تذكرهم بالله وأن هذا الذي تفعلونه لا يجوز وأنها امرأة ضعيفة، وتذكرهم بالله عسى أن يكفوا عن هذا الظلم. أيضا كذلك تصبر ولا تدقق في كل أمر، الأمر البسيط الذي قد يعفى عنه ويتجاوز عنه ويتغاضى عنه تصبر عليه. أما إذا كان الأمر كبيرا فإنها تسعى في إصلاح ذلك عن طريق بعض المصلحين من عقلاء العائلة، وكما قال الله سبحانه وتعالى والصلح خير. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى وإن امرأة خافت من زوجها نشوزا أو إعراضا فأصلحوا بينهما صلحا والصلح خير. والله سبحانه وتعالى قال لا خير في كثير من نجواهم إلا من أمر بصدقة أو معروف أو إصلاح بين الناس ومن يفعل ذلك ابتغاء مرضات الله فسوف نؤتيه أجرا عظيما.
In addition to this, we should emphasize that she can make as a condition before the marriage that she will not serve all of his family. And this is because there is a principle in Islam, an overarching maxim of Islamic jurisprudence that states that the customs are deemed, or customs are reckoned. The customs of an individual and a people are recognized. What does that mean? That means that if the woman is getting married and she knows that from the customs of these people is that the norm, their customs are that she will then have to serve all of his family, she shouldn't then enter the marriage and then say, actually, it's not obligatory upon me. What she should do is she should make it a condition beforehand, before entering the marriage, that she will not serve her in-laws, because it's the customs of that people. So she should emphasize it. The second thing, and this was in reference to the second part of the question, is that if they harm her, then this is something, if the in-laws harm her, this is oppression. And Allah the Most High has forbidden oppression and made it impermissible. And Allah the Most High has said, or the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, indeed, oppression in the worldly life becomes oppressions on the day of resurrection, meaning that punishment for it is compounded due to its evilness. So it's something that's haram. And Allah, the Most High, also says that indeed Allah does not oppress anyone. So it's something that is haram. What should she do? It's impermissible. What should she do in this situation? First and foremost, she should supplicate to Allah the Most High that He lifts this oppression from her. Secondly, she should remind them that this is something that is not permissible, that this conduct isn't permissible, and that they should stop these acts of oppression. Thirdly, she should be conscious of what's going on around her. And if these are minor things and if these are small things, then she should not place undue emphasis upon them. However, if they are big things and if they are great things, then she should hasten to go to the people of rectification to sort this out. So it could be the people of wisdom from her family, for example, but she should hasten to them to sort these things out. And Allah the Most High has said in the Quran, and rectify between them with a type of treaty or an agreement of good. And indeed, in these treaties and in these agreements of good, there is much good.
Certainly.
The question, marriage, ruling and rights of husband and wife, is it obligatory upon a husband to monthly amounts according to his circumstances to the wife, and do not ask where to spend? I understand. نعم. بالنسبة لحقوق الزوجة وحق النفقة هل يجب عليه أن يدفع مبلغا معينا شهريا على، ولكن لم نأخذ هذا في هذا الدرس شيخنا، أخذنا في، نعم استغربت. نعم نعم، فهل يجب عليه أن يدفع مبلغا معينا شهريا على حسب قدرته إلى الزوجة؟ وهل يعني في هذا الوقت هل عليه أن لا يسأل أين دفعت هذه الأموال؟
الإنفاق يكون على قدرة الزوج ووسعه، كما قال الله سبحانه وتعالى: لينفق ذو سعة من سعته، ومن قدر عليه رزقه، يعني من ضيق عليه رزقه، فلينفق مما آتاه الله، لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا ما آتاها. والله سبحانه وتعالى قال: لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. النفقة كما تقدم قلنا بأنها واجبة على الزوج، حتى وإن كانت المرأة غنية، هو المسؤول عن النفقة. والنفقة يدخل فيها، المقصود بها 4 أمور: الطعام والشراب والكسوة التي هي الملابس والمسكن، هذه 4. لكن لا يلزم أن يعطيها فوق هذه 4 مصروفا شهريا، كل شهر لك مثلا 500 باوند مثلا، هذا لا يلزم، لأنه بعض النساء تظن أن النفقة أن يعطيها مصروفا شهريا. لا، النفقة المراد بها الطعام والشراب والكسوة والمسكن. إذا أعطاها من عند نفسه بطيب نفسه شيئا فجزاه الله خيرا، هذا من العشرة بالمعروف. والنبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يقول: خيركم خيركم لأهله وأنا خيركم لأهلي. إذا أعطاها هذه الأموال فهي قد تملكتها، ومن حقها أن تصرفها وتنفقها فيما شاءت مما ليس بمحرم. يعني أعطاها مبلغا من المال، لها أن تعطي هذا المال لأبيها، لأمها، لجارتها، تشتري ملابس لنفسها، تشتري ذهب تلبسه، تشتري عطور، تهدي لبعض الجيران هدايا، تنفق، لأنها خرج المال من ذمته من ملكه إلى ملكها، فأصبحت هي حرة تتصرف به كيف شاءت، حتى لو تصدقت به، شرط ألا تنفقه في الحرام في شيء محرم. والله أعلم.
So the payment of the husband for the wife is in accordance to what the husband is able to do. And Allah the Most High says, and let the man pay that what he is able to. And whosoever's wealth is restricted, then they should pay from whatever Allah has given them. And Allah does not burden a soul more than he has given it. And Allah has said in another place in the Quran, and Allah does not burden a soul more than it can bear. So even if the way that the payment goes is that even if the woman is rich, it's obligatory upon the husband to pay the upkeep of 4 things: food, drink, clothing, and residence, i.e. the living. However, it doesn't mean that he should give an allowance over and above this, a monthly allowance, for example, of £500. Rather, he should pay for these 4 things. If he wants to, from his own self, give some sort of allowance or give more money, then this is something that's good. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the best of you are those of the best of you to their families or their wives, and I am the best of you to their family, or the best of you to their wife. And then if he gives her this money, then this money, it transfers to being money that's his, to money and wealth that is hers. And once this transfer of the finances takes place, she is then permitted to spend this money in whichever way she wants that is permitted, that is halal. So she can spend it on clothes or perfume, she can give it to her family, she can give presents to neighbors. So she can, because she is a free person and this wealth is now in her possession, so she can do so as she pleases with it, as long as it is not impermissible. هذا للشيخ حسن. وهل لديه حق شيخنا أن يسأل كيف تصرف هذه النقود إذا
يسأل بمعنى يقول أرجع الباقي؟ أيوه أيوه تمام. ايوه بقي 50. نعم. إذا أعطاها هذا المال فقد خرج من ملكه ودخل في ملكها، فلا يجوز له أن يسأل عن الباقي، لأنه هبة من عند نفسه، والنبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يقول العائد في هبته كالكلب أعزكم الله، يقي ثم يعود فيأكل هذا القيء الذي أخرجه من بطنه، إلا في حالة إذا كان هو موكلها للإنفاق على البيت، يقول هذه 500 باوند لمشتريات البيت. هنا لم يعطيها المال لنفسها، إنما أعطاها المال لنفقة البيت للطعام والشراب. هنا له أن يسأل، يقول أنت اشتريتي ب450 بقي 50، هذه ال50. أما إن أعطاها لنفسها فلا يسأل عنه إطلاقا.
So the brother was asking, is he allowed to ask and see how she has spent this money? So the sheikh, he responded and said that once he has given the money to her, the transfer of the wealth has taken place. So he cannot ask her for the money back. So for example, if he gives her £500 to treat herself, he cannot say then, if she treated herself and it came to 300, okay, give me the 200 back, because the money has transferred from his possession to her possession. And the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said that the person who seeks to return or take back that which they have gifted someone is like the dog who vomits and then eats its own vomit. As for if, for example, he gives a specific amount for the specific upkeep of the house or a specific purpose within the house, and there is money left over, or he can ask about the condition of it. So, for example, if he gave her £500 for a specific job or for some shopping, and he said this money is this 500 is for the shopping, and the shopping came to 450, he can ask and he can have his £50 back because it was for that specific purpose. But if he gives it as a present in a general sense, then there's no refunds.
بعض الرجال عندنا في السعودية ماذا يصنع؟ يعطي مثلا زوجته 1000 ريال في الشهر ويقول اشتري مقاضي البيت والزائد لك، فهي تقتصد في مشتريات البيت، بدلا من أن تأخذ 10 علب من التونة أو القشطة تأخذ 8، تقول هذا يكفي ويكفي، فتقتصد. فوفر ماله بطريقة ذكية. أما لو لم يفعل هذا فإنها تشتري مثلا 15 علبة من التونة أو 15 من القشطة، فهو يدفع أكثر من 1000.
So in Saudi, what some of the men do is they'll give a specific amount per month. So they might give 1,000 riyals a month for the woman to go, for the wife to go shopping. And then he'll say, spend this on the home stuffs and the food, and whatever is left, then it's for you. So by doing it this way, it means that she's really economical and she budgets really hard, so she can pocket the change and she can pocket the difference. So instead of getting 15 tins of tuna, she might only get 8. Or instead of getting loads and loads of cream, she'll get just enough so she can pocket the difference.
لعلنا نكتفي بهذا لأن تجاوزنا الوقت، وبقية الأسئلة إن شاء الله غدا في مثل هذا الوقت الذي الأسئلة سنبدأ بها إن شاء الله. أسأل الله بمنه وكرمه أن يوفقنا جميعا للعلم النافع والعمل الصالح والتآخي في الله والتحابب في الله، أزواجا وأبناء وآباء وأصدقاء وقرابات. نسأل الله عز وجل أن يجعلنا وإياكم مباركين أينما كنا، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.
And we'll suffice with this amount of questions and answers for tonight, because the questions are many, and we'll take them tomorrow by Allah's will. And we ask Allah the Most High to enable us to come together as brothers and sisters in the community, and may He send and shower peace and salutations upon the Prophet Muhammad and upon his family and companions.
جزا الله المشايخ خيرا، وجزا الله الشيخ عقيل خيرا، وكذلك المترجم الإشارة.
And obviously, thanks to our respected Mashayikh, and Sheikh Muhammad al-Maliki also thanked me, and our translator Justin as well. أثابكم الله. أثابكم الله. السلام عليكم.
My name is Abdurrahim Green, and I'm making a special request on behalf of our brothers and sisters, our children from the deaf community. This is an urgent appeal to help provide Islamic materials for those in need who want to learn their religion, but have been unable simply due to a lack of resources.
Go to masjid on Friday Jummah, and when the Imam stands and gives khutbah, for deaf Muslims who are in the masjid, it's very difficult for them to stand there and not understand what the Imam is saying, what the khutbah is about. And all we do is just stand there and just look around. We have no idea what the Imam is saying. As you can see today, Islam for Deaf is an organization set up here today to help the deaf Ummah, the deaf Muslims, all of us here today. Also, I would like to say this to you all. Inshallah, please, I hope you can understand that today's aim is for us to donate money for Islam for Deaf so we can raise funds in order to help the deaf community have access to Islam.
I want you to imagine never being able to hear the recitation of the Quran. Imagine not being able to hear the call for prayer or being in Taraweeh, but there's no sound. Islam for Deaf asks you for your donations and your zakat.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Masalul ladina yunfiquna amwalahum fi sabilillahi kamasali habbatin ambatat sab'a sanabila fi kulli sumbulatin miyatu habba wallahu yudha'ifu liman yasha wallahu wasi'un alim. If you donate in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase in 70 times or infinite times if a person is doing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I would like to announce a very important announcement today. We are planning to have a program regarding special need people who have the learning difficulty, deaf children, and to learn Quran through sign language. And for this project, we need your support. So please kindly support generously, and you can support Islam for deaf.co.uk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Please visit their website, islamfordeaf.co.uk.